Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by LendSeek.
A little extra expense could prevent a great big headache if your college student runs into trouble during a spring break trip out of the country. Travel vlogger Mark Wolter says you should buy that overseas cell phone and data plan to avoid international roaming fees and emergency calls.
The problem is at 1 o'clock in the morning, those internet cafes, those places with free Wi-Fi are not open, and therefore they do not have an option of getting on there.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
If you love sports, this is the show for you. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the free Odyssey app and YouTube at The Costos, bringing you the biggest NFL news, guests, and notes from the offseason while getting you ready to win the madness of college hoops. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Download the Odyssey app and listen from anywhere for sports talk from people who love sports.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! I was worried if that button was even on. There's no lights. What is this, Cuba? It's Reese on the Radio. What's going on, you scallywags, nutmeggers? Haters extraordinaire. It's WTIC News Talk 1080, ready to rock and roll. As we always do, shout out to the homies and the roadies. You wonderful individuals out there. We have to start doing some new promos, Roland. We kind of go through them, kind of switch them up every 6 months. So I think we're roughly due, aren't we? Start throwing in some new ones. Yeah, some drops. Yeah. We start putting together some new ones. I'm always, it's so funny. I can see the reflection from everywhere, and I start seeing these people walk through. And this is going to sound weird, Roland, but whenever I see a blonde woman coming up to the door, I'm always nervous. It's a weird thing, but I'm always nervous. It's like, is she a Karen? Is she a listener? Is she a fan? You know, I told the story, you know, when we were talking with the folks over at Hot 93?
Yeah.
And I was saying, I was like, you remember I made the horrible mistake of dating one of my stalkers? I did. I mean, I'm just saying. So, yeah, I'm a little weirded out always that, you know, there might be somebody coming by to say, hey, you know, one time when he was here during Election Day, some woman showed up with a big sign. She's a nice woman. Don't get me wrong. She's a beautiful woman who showed up with a big, giant green sign that says, you know, but she was celebrating that we were going to have the evening over at Wooden Tap. You remember that when that happened?
Yeah.
I'm always, you know, I'm just, you know, working in radio. People always talk about stalkers and, you know, weird conversations that they have with people who might, you know, kind of, you know, do some.
How long did that relationship last?
Couple of months.
Really? That's outrageous.
I didn't know that you're not supposed to date your stalker, okay? I did not know. I was very naive. I was naive.
You lucky to be alive, man.
I'm not. Off the air, I want to tell you a very, very, because I could never tell this story on the air. But you know what? As I always tell people, ask me personally, I will tell you. But I will tell you a very wild story about that. Not there's nothing graphic about it, but it was a wild story that made me know, okay, maybe we should not fulfill this relationship quota. Technically, we should. Maybe we call it quits. But yeah, like I said, you know, I just see people walking up. I'm right here at the front door. You never know. Are these things bulletproof?
No, they are not.
You asked. Okay, it's good to know. Fine.
You better duck.
We should, yeah, exactly. We should talk to somebody about that. Maybe put it in the budget. Roland is laughing because I said the word budget. That's why. Anyway, it's good to be here as always. Update on Roseanne. I don't know if she's going to make it on Friday. I really don't. This was, you know how some husbands will tongue-in-cheek say that because their wife is sick, so they can't talk, and so, you know, that was a blessing because you can't hear their voices. I have to honestly say it has been so quiet in my house because Roseanne, her throat has been absolutely sore. She lost her voice yesterday, and I hated every bit of it. I could barely talk to her because she couldn't communicate with me. Every phone call she got, I had to talk for her on the phone. Her friend Penny called, and I had to speak for her, not knowing even what the context was of their conversation. So Roseanne had to sort of do hand gestures to me asking Penny the questions on the phone. It was so weird. And I have come to realize something, that I better be the sick person in our marriage. I have no bedside manner. I'm not good at it. I didn't know what to do because I just looked at her and she looked, sick. She looked sad. She couldn't speak. She's in a bathrobe and she's sniffling and coughing. She was up all night because her cough wouldn't let her sleep, to the point where it woke me up. And I was going, what am I supposed to do here? I didn't know what to do. I've never been so out of sorts. My wife is sick. I come to her rescue all the time. And here, couldn't do anything. I was all thumbs. Ladies, I don't know what you're supposed to do, what your man or your husband does for you when you're sick, but I need some help. Clearly. What do you do, Roland? What do you do when your wife is sick? Do you just sit by and just say, wait for her to call you to do stuff?
Not really.
Okay.
I don't know, just be there for her, whatever she needs.
Okay, that's what I do. I sat there and I waited for her to say, like late last night, I had to run out to the store to go get her ginger and honey because she used all of the ginger in the house, and she always has it in the house. I had to run out and go get organic honey and get ginger. So I come back home and I'm like, okay, I bought it. Is like, anything you need me to do? And she's like, no. And I don't know if she's telling me no because
Yeah, make some tea.
Incapable.
Make sure you got hot water for tea at
Yes.
all times.
I can do.
You know, run a warm bath with some Epsom salt.
Okay, that's all right. I could do that. She doesn't like using the bathtub in our apartment yet. She just thinks it's, icky because other people used to live there. If it was ours at home, I would run her a bath without a doubt. But I know that she's not going to take a bath in the tub that we have there. She just won't. She took at least 3 showers within the last 10 hours because she said it's the only time she ever feels good. So I couldn't help her there. I'm like,
well, when you done all you can do is just wait till it gets out of her system.
I don't know. I have no ideas. He goes, Michael B says, you guys need to learn sign language so you can still get in trouble when she can't speak like this. Thank you, Barbara. Very sweet of you. She says, good afternoon, Reese. I always look forward to 2-ish every day. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. So if you have some advice for me.
Give her a little body massage.
Yes, exactly. I can do.
A bunch of little things add up to a big thing.
All right. That's 100% right. I guess I could do that. I just want to make sure that I'm helping.
Yeah, and just keep asking if she is okay. That's it.
Okay. Well, she says
Do you need anything? You're okay. You need anything?
Yeah, humidifier we have. That was in the house. I can't breathe with the humidifier on. It's just way too much. Then she made it extra cold in the apartment last night, and that was unbearable. I felt like a homeless person. It was freezing in our apartment. I thought I was outside.
Put a hoodie on, man.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could do that. That's true. Who sleeps in? I can't sleep in my clothes. You can do that?
There's pajama hoodies. You just got to buy some.
Yeah, I guess I do. I guess I do. Anyway, with that, I just thought it was bizarre that,
There's always a way. It doesn't matter what comes.
You're helping. You are helping. Even though it doesn't sound like it, you are. I believe you are.
I think her body's just getting accustomed to the weather, the different weather. Your biology is different when you're used to being in a certain area. Now she's moved up here, and at first it was great, but now it's starting to weigh on her body. It is just a process.
Yeah,
that's all.
It may be. Lori also says, I had a friend that believed in a chiropractor for a body realignment. Not sure if you're into that type of medication. Roseanne would be. She likes that, that guru, brujeria, santeria, kind of weird, wacky, herky-jerky stuff.
Getting cracked. That's what I call it, getting cracked.
Getting cracked. Yeah, with that. I wanted to say this. We got a whole bunch of news to get into, especially some local stuff that I want to get into in the next hour. One of the first things I talked about when I got here at WTIC back in 2022, in fact, it forged my relationship with Karen Thomas over at the Friendly Hands Food Bank. It was about Connecticut being able to feed itself, or more importantly, its children. I want to talk about that a little bit today because it's quite interesting what Connecticut is turning into as far as children and the government. I believe that there is, I almost feel like everything sort of bleeds into one another with the Connecticut government as it pertains to children. So I want to talk about that at about 3 o'clock. Also, I want to talk about this fiscal nightmare happening in Hartford. There was a story came out about the $70 million or billion? $70 million of debt that's going on in Hartford and why it can't pay its bills due to the education system there. I went and did a deep dive today on that, and a lot of it doesn't make sense. It turns out that the city of Hartford is paying for children not to be schooled in the city of Hartford. Wild. We'll get into that as well. But before we do, I want to say this. I want to spend a little time on this in the opening monologue. And there are people who have been posting and talking about online, even in the news media, trying to tell the rest of us that MAGA world is falling apart. Now, folks, this is a lie. This is nonsense. And I have been telling you this for a long time. And I remind you, I know you cannot trust me when I tell you that this is what the deal is as opposed to what they say. You believe them. They've been in this business longer. I'm still earning your trust. I'm not upset at that. I'm not. You give me the opportunity to do the thing I love to do best as an egomaniacal narcissist. Applaud myself. You give me the opportunity to do it. Why? Because I state it, you half believe it, then it's confirmed, then I applaud myself. That's how it works. And I get it. It's the dance we do. Especially people on the left. It's the dance we do. I love to dance. You know me. Come on. I'm an African-American male. We are very, very rhythmic. I love to dance. Now, with that being said, folks, I want to throw a couple of things at you. And we're going to need a little while to do it. I said this to you a long time ago, but let's start with Harry Enton. Harry Enton, a couple of weeks ago, gave this report on CNN. Why do I use Harry Enton? Because he's clearly liberal. He's on CNN. And when he does these reports, as Lori likes to state inside the chat room, how in the hell does CNN let him do this? Well, it's an opportunity for CNN to appear fair and balanced. And it always makes Trump look good. And because the left really loves and supports CNN, they call them real news, I figured I'd cite them. Fox News, they would ignore. Here's Harry Enton a week ago. 2 weeks ago.
MAGA GOP on the U.S. military action in Iran. Look at this. Nearly 9 in 10, 89% approve of the U.S. military action in Iran. That is the MAGA GOP base. Just 9% disapprove of it. This is tremendously popular among the Republican base. And, of course, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, overseeing the effort. It seems to me that a lot of people are taking that into account, including President Donald Trump, who has been smiling an awful lot at Marco Rubio.
Now, you saw that number, right? 89% of the MAGA base, 9% disapprove. Okay? I've said that. I pointed it out. People have ignored it. Well, there's a woman by the name of Batya Sargon. Batya Sargon. She's on News Nation. And she was talking about the resignation of what was his name? Why am I forgetting his name? But whoever the guy was yesterday, it doesn't matter what his name is. Jake somebody. He's gone now. Who cares? We'll talk about it later on. Anyway, she was talking about that. And in that, she was talking about MAGA. And in talking about MAGA, she ended up incorporating something that I had talked about on this program. Now, you all have listened to this show long enough, and you know that you've heard me say things that many people have sort of dismissed. What was that? Let me tell you. Ben Shapiro, Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, what they call the MAGA bros in the podcasting world. Many of those individuals have been fighting each other. Candace Owens and the like. All of them going back and forth, hating on each other, talking about how they don't support the war. Rogan doesn't support the war. This other MAGA bro doesn't like the war. All internet folks online. And I said, who cares whether or not they like the war or not, or think that Donald Trump has betrayed them? It means nothing. And there it was, Harry Enton pointing out 89% of folks who are MAGA folks support the efforts in Iran. Only 9% disagree. So here we go to yesterday on another network, a completely different host talking about the MAGA bros and the MAGA polling on Iran. Here's Batya.
The problem is that the podcastariat, right, the commentators on the right are all in that 10%. And the reason they're in that 10% is because the online incentives are very much to be against the war in Iran, just like they are to be against Israel. That stuff gets you a lot of attention online because the internet is available globally. If the internet was only available in America, they would not be getting these numbers because Americans cannot stand anti-Semitism. So what happens is you see this again and again and again. You saw this with Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example. When somebody starts spending more time on Twitter than they're spending in the dive bar and talking to their neighbors, they become convinced that there is an American appetite for this anti-Israel, anti-Trump crap.
Yeah.
Like Israel is somehow behind the scenes. And that is exactly what happened to Joe Kent.
That's his name, Joe Kent. Now, isn't she repeating exactly what I said months ago? That I don't care what Joe Rogan says. I don't care what Adam Schultz says. I don't care what Theo Vaughn says. I don't care what Ben Shapiro or any of these internet guys are talking about. Because the proof is in the pudding that MAGA is strong. But when we come back, I'll go one step further. We have new numbers today that will blow your mind. People think that MAGA is fractured, that there's a MAGA split. You won't believe your ears or your eyes when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Got heat? No? Say, come on into Campbell. If it's cold outside and inside, contact Campbell. Campbell Heating and Cooling does business the American way with their own technicians, so you know that you can trust who's coming into your home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From simple service to a complete system replacement, count on Campbell, veteran-owned and operated. Campbell Heating and Cooling. Visit CampbellCooling.com.
Campbell Cooling uses all major name brands, including American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and Mitsubishi Heating and Cooling Equipment.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-900-1717. 800-900-1717. 800-900-1717.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 2:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Two people are under arrest after Hartford police say they were part of a sex trafficking operation involving juveniles. Akeem Harris and Shay Broden were targeted in an investigation first launched last September. Two people were injured in a crash in West Hartford Tuesday night. Vehicle they were in hit a utility pole on New Britain Ave, according to police. That section of roadway was closed for several hours. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen before his colleagues for his confirmation hearing as DHS Secretary. At the hearing, Senator Richard Blumenthal asked Mullen if he would retract his initial statement about Renee Good, shot and killed by an ICE officer in Minneapolis this winter.
And you were asked whether you believe the shooting was justified, and you replied, quote, absolutely. Do you regret that statement as well?
Senator, it's very clear that an officer had to make a split decision in that case as the car was running towards him and did strike him. At that point, that car becomes a lethal weapon.
So are you saying, and I apologize for interrupting you, but yes, you're saying you do not regret that statement?
I'm saying that the investigation is going on, but what we've seen... There is no
investigation.
The Education Committee in the General Assembly set to vote today on whether to advance a bill that would significantly increase regulations on homeschooling. Proposed legislation would change and add new oversight to requirements for families who educate their kids at home. Top Trump national security officials facing tough questions in Congress about the war in Iran and the FBI's ability to stop attacks at home. Among those testifying, National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard. WTIC News Time is 2:32. Bob Cox has the forecast.
We have some high and mid-level cloudiness around the area for a while this afternoon. That will tend to thin back out as we get into late in the day and this evening. Sundown not until 7:01 this evening. Temperatures this afternoon running about 10 degrees below average in the 35 to 40 degree range, with a light northwest wind becoming south late in the day. Partly cloudy tonight, lows in the 20s. Thursday's partly sunny with highs in the mid-40s. There's the chance for a rain or snow shower during Thursday night, the low near freezing. Partly to mostly sunny Friday, highs in the low 50s. Some rain developing Friday night, tapering off Saturday morning, remaining mostly cloudy with highs in the low 50s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brian Jackman here for Serta Pro Painters. It's time. We're about to go to springtime, and the spring sales event could get you 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. And Serta Pro, those folks are awesome. They're independently owned and operated right here in our community. They did my kitchen. They were there on time. The estimate was excellent, and they did, by the way, a great job. Serta Pro Painters. Schedule your free estimate online at certapro.com. That's Serta with a C.
Got a tree causing big trouble in a tiny space? Don't risk it. Call the experts who specialize in the impossible jobs. At Tree Wise Guys of Connecticut, we handle the heavy lifting so you don't have to. From precision limb cutting and stump grinding to full land cleaning and emergency storm damage cleanup. No job is too big and no space is too tight. When it matters most, trust the guys who know trees. Trust Tree Wise Guys of Connecticut. Visit treewiseguysct.com today to get a free quote on your next project. That's treewiseguysct.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Let's be honest. The hearing aid industry is broken. Overpriced clinics, pushy appointments, bills of $5,000 or more. That's the trap they hope you fall into. Don't let it happen. Audien Hearing is the escape. Their FDA-registered hearing aids cost just a fraction of the big brands, starting at only $98. Instead of paying as much as $5,000 plus all the doctor appointments and wasted time, you get what you need with no prescriptions, no office visits, no time wasted, and no crazy price tag. Call 800-700-HEAR. That's HEAR. Audien's cutting-edge devices are rechargeable, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. Try them risk-free for 45 days with lifetime support and real human help just a phone call away. Over 1 million people have already said yes to Audien Hearing. Join them. Don't let them take advantage of you. Break free from the trap. Call now 800-700-HEAR. That's HEAR for a very special offer. 800-700-HEAR or 800-700-4327.
888-828-27.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with your 2026 tax tips. Even though it's 26, you can still make retirement contributions for 2025. With the tax filing deadline of April 15th approaching, you still have until that date to make contributions to a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA for tax year 2025. If you are under the age of 50 in 2025, the maximum contribution you may make to an IRA is $7,000. For those who turn 50 in 2025, the maximum increases to $8,000. The annual limit is aggregated for both traditional and Roth IRAs. You cannot contribute $7,000 to your traditional IRA and then another $7,000 to your Roth IRA.
Tax season can be overwhelming, but UHY makes it simple. Our professionals provide comprehensive tax advisory services to help individuals and businesses stay compliant and save money. Call our Farmington office at 860-530-6949 or visit farmingtoncpa.com.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
We're back. It's Reese on the radio, and somebody sent me a link, but I can't. Well, I'll see if I can see it later. We'll take your phone calls coming up. Give it a few hours at least at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Also, don't forget to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Details on the Republican or GOP gubernatorial debate will be on the website very soon, but you all know that it is going to be in Farmington, and it will be on April 30th. And we will give you an opportunity to be there. I think we've got a lot of seats for you to participate. We also want business leaders who are out there to submit questions that will go to the candidates. We'll also take some audience questions as well. If you submit them, we will add them to the list of questions that we will have there. Slated to appear is going to be myself, Brian Shackman, and Morgan Cunningham, who I've asked personally, both of them, to assist me in that debate, which is going to be happening again on April 30th. And I think we're going to be doing it at 8, if not 7 or 8 p.m. I'm not exactly sure of the time, but make sure you put that on your calendar if you wish to go. And we're going to, I think we'll do some sort of giveaway kind of deal on some tickets and how you'll have to apply in order to go. We'll do the whole bit. But you will like the event. We've already seen the venue. Well, I've seen the venue already. And I think that you'll enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of fun and very informative. Before the break, if you're just joining us, I was talking about a lot of people who have talked about the MAGA base, or Republicans for that matter, who are against the war in Iran. Now, I know people are saying it's a war now, I guess, if we got to call it that. But I think there's some boldness on the part of the President of the United States by calling it a war because he knows he has the support of the GOP, and he does. Many people have tried to suggest that the GOP was fracturing. And what were they using? They were using the Ben Shapiros, the Matt Walshes, and a host of other people, Theo Vaughn, just people online, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. They threw all of these names out there. These people are outraged at Donald Trump betraying them. I think Megyn Kelly was another one. And they were putting this on, and I was saying to everybody, look, this is about influence. Okay? This is about viewership. they have a business model. If they believed it was beneficial for them to support Donald Trump and these efforts, they do it. If it's profitable for them to be against it, for whatever reason, see, I can turn my back on Trump. See, I can be flexible on Trump. I can agree with him where I agree with him and then disagree with him. I can't see. I'm just like you, trying to curry favor. And that's not honest. I'm sorry, I just don't. And again, I'm not trying to be these guys. Let them have their popularity, baby. Suck it up. Vacuum it. Get it all. Get all that money, baby. Get all that endorsement, baby. Get all those accolades, baby. Yes. I'm not going down that road. I am who I am. And if they like me, they like me. And if they don't, they don't. It's just the way it's going to be. So when people tell me, it's like, all I want you to do, Reese, is I want you to be like this. And I'm like, no. Being who you want me to be didn't get me here. Hasn't got me anywhere in life. So I'm just not. That being said, why do I push back on this nonsense? Because I know. And knowing is not about getting the accolades. It's just knowing. It's my job to know this stuff and to really pay attention to it. Because I'm doing it because I'm trying to be an honest broker here for you, to give you the information that you need. Now, as I said, Batya, who said what I said months ago, and it's nice, it's beautiful to see people coming on board months after I've already made the claim that these podcasters are appealing to other people outside the United States.
The problem is that the podcastariat, right, the commentators on the right are all in that 10%. And the reason they're in that 10% is because the online incentives are very much to be against the war in Iran, just like they are to be against Israel. That stuff gets you a lot of attention online because the internet is available globally. If the internet was only available in America, they would not be getting these numbers because Americans cannot stand anti-Semitism. So what happens is you see this again and again and again. You saw this with Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example. When somebody starts spending more time on Twitter than they're spending in the dive bar and talking to their neighbors, they become convinced that there is an American appetite for this anti-Israel, anti-Trump crap.
Yeah.
That Israel is somehow behind the scenes. And that is exactly what happened to Joe Kent.
Yes, and she makes a very, very good point about Joe Kent. Also, during yesterday's show, what did I tell you about Joe Kent? That the moment that he decided he wasn't going to be a part of the Trump administration, the folks over at MS Now were going to praise him. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicole Wallace, MS Now. Her exact words.
Mr. Kent writing this sort of sentence that'll live on forever in the history of this chapter is written, and the chapter on the war in Iran is written. I believe the sentence will be there. Quote, I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. So writes the first senior national security official to depart Donald Trump's isolationist political coalition in the aftermath of the Iran war being launched.
Oh, they're so proud of Joe Kent, white nationalist as he is. The same guy who said, and I quote, Donald Trump posted this yesterday, the same Joe Kent who wrote, real Donald Trump, we should not sit and wait for the next attack. Wipe Iran's ballistic capability out and get our troops out of Iraq. They are only targets now. No U.S. WIA or wounded in action or killed in action is a tribute to the professionalism of our military and intel professionals, not Iranian restraint. That's what Joe Kent wrote. Said he, in good conscience, he cannot support the war. He was bragging about telling the president, in his own words, to go after Iran. Again, as I told you, nonsense. Pay no attention to it. But back to the break in MAGA, as they call it. Harry Enton laid it down today from CNN.
just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Now, there are some Republicans who disapprove of Donald John Trump, but they are not members of the Make America Great Again movement. The bottom line is this. If you are a member of MAGA, you approve of Donald Trump.
Yeah, I wish it was that simple, Harry Enton. But, of course, you had to go on.
Is there any sign that people might be leaving MAGA relative to 2024?
Yeah, now this should be a key thing, right? Because MAGA folks are supposed to be upset. More and more people who are MAGA are disappointed in MAGA, and they should be leaving. The 2024 coalition of MAGA folks, that should be shrinking, and it should be shrinking significantly. But I need to tell you this, folks. This is important. Before I play this, listen up. I'm going to say it to you again. Donald Trump's coalition has always grown. 2016, 63 million. 2020, 75 million. 2024, 77 to 78 million. It has always grown. That has always been the case. While everybody keeps screaming about Donald Trump's support, it keeps growing. Okay? So we understand each other.
Is there any sign that people might be leaving MAGA relative to 2024?
Yeah, okay. So, I've said it before, and, the theme of this segment is Tucker Carlson be darned. And when we look at the numbers, I've heard some people say, when you look at those MAGA numbers, it doesn't account for those who might have left MAGA. But take a look here. Americans who identify as MAGA, in November of 2024, it was 28% of Americans. Now it's basically the same. If anything, it's slightly higher at 30%. The bottom line is this. The MAGA base within the GOP is not shrinking. It's the same size. If anything, it is slightly larger than it was back in 2024.
Now, if you're asking yourself on the left, because you're listening to this, where is Harry Enton getting these numbers from? Well, for those of you who are watching online, you can see in the bottom left-hand corner who is the source of this polling. It ain't Fox News, ladies and gentlemen. It's the place that Donald Trump despises almost as much as ABC News. NBC News is the source of these numbers, where Donald Trump went from 28% to 30% now from 2024. We're not talking about a slight decline. We're not talking about a reasonable growth. We're talking about a considerable growth. 2 whole percentage points by NBC News standards, who has always got Donald Trump in negative numbers.
Of course, Donald Trump won a second term. So that 100% that Donald Trump has approval among MAGA GOP, that is not an artifact of MAGA shrinking. It's just an indication of how strong Donald Trump's grip is on that MAGA base.
Now, let's go one step further, because the most important point is that people are going to say, well, Reese, that's MAGA. What about the whole of the Republican Party? Well, I'm glad you asked, because so did Harry Enton.
And so I guess it begs the question of what's happening with inside the GOP and if there are any splits there, because with those kind of numbers, they're going to want to retain that, right? So they can retain their seats.
Yes. And what we're talking about, we mentioned Iran in the intro of this segment, GOP on U.S. military action in Iran. Look at this. In MAGA, it's 90% approval. It's 90% approval, just 5% disapproval. If you disapprove of the job that Donald Trump is doing, the U.S. military action in Iran, and you're a member of the GOP, look at this. It's your non-MAGA. You're not MAGA. It's 36% there, 54% approved.
So if you got confused by that, non-MAGA GOP, 54 to 36 for the war in Iran. MAGA folks, 90% to 5 against. Okay?
The majority of Republicans approve of the job that the U.S. military action is in Iran, and the majority of MAGA, which is the majority of the GOP, very much approve, 90%. Very little split in Donald Trump's base. Those who disapprove in the GOP, simply put, they hate MAGA.
It's really clear. MAGA has the floor.
MAGA has the floor, 100%.
All right.
We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Larry Older here. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is hearing real stories like that of Sandra. She tells us, I've been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, and I finally decided to try it because nothing else was helping my back pain. I know the feeling. With a 3-week quick start, she said, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. That's Sandra's own words, and it's so gratifying to hear. I've told you about my brother Kirk having difficulty going up and down the stairs in the morning. He wouldn't listen to me. I told him to take Relief Factor. He finally did. Began moving better, feeling stronger. Too bad he didn't listen earlier. Try it for yourself. The 3-week quick start. And see how Relief Factor could be your game changer too. It is only $19.95. Think about it. Do the math. Less than $1 a day. So call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com, all one word, relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Totally forgot about that. Anyway, we're back, Reese on the Radio. When we come back, top of the hour, some Connecticut news to get into. Universal food program that's being proposed. We need to talk about also Connecticut is going to change or work on changing its policies on which juveniles will spend time in juvenile detentions based upon the crimes that they commit. We've got the list of what they are considering low level. And it is quite astonishing, too, that are on the list. I want to break those down for you as well. I don't even know if you can say this is where we are, but the hell if it doesn't look like it. I think that politicians believe the only way that they can connect with the inner city minorities, and I'm talking about we're talking native-born minority groups, not immigrants, native-born minority groups, blacks and Hispanics born here or from the country. They believe the only way they can resonate and connect with them is through lax criminal justice, by permitting certain behavior as I don't know. It's weird because there used to be a time, at least I thought, there used to be a time where the people on the left loved to use the inner city in its criminal justice system. And if they're trying to, I don't know, apologize in some way, they do not understand exactly what kind of death they're going to bring onto those communities. Because if you can't punish these kids for some of the crimes that are on this list, you're giving them, and back to that term, a permission slip. That's what it is. And also, there's this new law for against landlords. I guess that's the best way to put it. People who are in good standing cannot be evicted. I mean, what the hell does that mean? It's like, it's almost like contracts don't matter, but we'll get into it. I don't want to go too deep. Into that. There was another piece that I wanted to play, but that'll come up in a 4 o'clock hour. Oh, yeah. John Solomon has got to do a breaking story from Just the News. I want to get into that. Very important. We know that the confirmation hearing for Markwayne Mullin is happening. That's been talked about in the news. So far, the most heated exchange has been through from Senator Blumenthal and from Senator Rand Paul. Those are the most heated. And even Rand Paul was just on Martha McCallum's program a minute ago saying that he believes Markwayne Mullin's going to be confirmed. All of this is window dressing at best. That's why I'm not even paying attention to it. It's going to happen. He is a fellow senator. They're going to give him guff. They're going to get their sound bites, but he's going to be confirmed. That's what's going to happen. Right now, this is performative at best. So we'll get into a lot of that. John Solomon. We'll get into that. And what is this one? Oh, the Mamdani protester. If you have not seen this video, this will go right back to my Democrat litmus test. What this protester said to Zohran Mamdani a few days ago is exactly where the Democrat Party is. And Zohran Mamdani, Mayor Mamdani, says nothing. He stands there with a smile on his face. It is so weird to watch, but we'll play the audio for you as well. So we got a whole bunch of stuff to get into. He says you should talk to David Haberfeld about that landlord stuff. He will be able to go deep into how landlords are getting screwed in Connecticut. It's not the only place, Michael B., but yeah, please give him my info. It's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. California, forget about it. It's even worse there. But yeah, if he's a good fit for the show, forward him my info, and I'd love to talk to him, because this is going to be really, really bad for landlords and property owners in Connecticut. We can only hope that those pushing lawlessness get a taste of their own bad practices delivered to their own doorstep. But would it be enough? I really believe that even if it would happen to them, they would give it the Rahm Emanuel treatment. We got to go to the top of the hour. Anyway, we'll be back. We got some Connecticut news coming up. John Silva, he's in the WTIC newsroom.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
It's 3 o'clock, Hartford temperature 33 degrees. We'll have the clouds mix in with the sun today. Pretty nice day overall, except it's a little chilly for this time of year. We will check in with meteorologist Bob Cox. He's got the WTIC Weather Center forecast coming up. Hartford's education budget is confronting a budget deficit pegged at around $70 million, according to the district's school superintendent, Dr. Andre Townsend. He says he'd like to be able to shift some dollars from the city's fund balance, presently $74 million, $48 million of which is currently unassigned.
There's something called fund balance. That's a rainy day fund. And right now, Hartford has a rainy day. And Hartford Public Schools is a part of Hartford. It's an emergency that we're in, and this is an inflection point where something must happen.
Officials are trying to reduce costs for out-of-district placement. They say educating students at home would shave those costs at in half at a potential savings of $32 million in tuition costs. Budget hearings are scheduled for March 31st and April 28th. GOP Senator Rand Paul says he'll be a no vote for his colleague from Oklahoma, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, as Homeland Security Secretary. Mullen appeared before the Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee for a confirmation hearing. Paul chairs that committee. At the start, Paul confronted Mullen for comments the latter made after Paul was assaulted and injured at his Kentucky home 9 years ago. Paul was asked if an apology from Mullen would sway his vote.
He was given a chance, and I doubt any sincerity that you come back and add up the votes and you don't have enough vote. So I can't imagine that he would. And he's actually very proud of endorsing the violence against me. So I don't think he's in any way. I mean, he's the guy, men will settle their differences by you punch them in the mouth. That is his quote. And he doesn't reject any of that. He doesn't say he wants to change. He doesn't say it was in the heat of battle. This is who he is.
Paul was on Fox News, concedes Mullen will likely be confirmed. Senators also questioning Trump administration officials about the war in Iran.
In her written opening statement to the Senate Intelligence Committee, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said last year's attack on Iran obliterated its nuclear enrichment program, and there have been no efforts since to rebuild it. But Gabbard omitted that passage in her spoken remarks. Virginia Democratic Senator Mark Warner asked why.
I recognize that the time was running long, and I skipped through some of the portions of my oral delivered remarks.
You chose to omit the parts that contradict the president.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Homeschooling families are at the state capitol again as lawmakers on the legislature's Education Committee debate the bill that would increase oversight. Committee co-chair, Democratic State Representative Jennifer Leeper, says an annual check-in with families ensuring their kids are receiving an equivalent education is not a lot to ask.
Showing that you have educated your child in some way is a very, very low bar. And we heard from person after person, they are doing so substantially more than that. This should be no problem for them to clear that hurdle.
Bill opponent, Republican State Senator Heather Summers, says more should not be required of homeschooling families despite recent high-profile abuse cases involving children listed as homeschooled.
Homeschooling in Connecticut has worked for decades. Yes, we've had a few instances, but I believe those are failures of DCF. I don't think they have anything to do with our education system.
Bill opponents like Summers say requirements that the Education Department and DCF be informed when a child is pulled from school is painting all homeschooling families as bad actors. A group of Democrats gathered at the U.S. Capitol today to knock an elections bill that President Trump is urging lawmakers to pass. Democratic Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock says he's concerned about the legislation.
I'm very worried because this SAVE Act is just one more iteration of the chipping away of the people's voice.
Republicans say the bill would safeguard against election fraud. WTIC News Time, 3:04. From the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, not looking at any major hassles on the roads in the greater Hartford area. Traveling well on 84, 91, Route 2, 291, 384, all okay. Still have some late running road work out there in East Hartford on 84, eastbound between exits 58 and 63. Two left lanes have been knocked out there, and they will be till about 3:30. Also 84 east in the Hartford area from 44 to 48. Left lane will be out until about 3:30. And in Plainville, 84 west between 33 and 30, left lane repair work continues to go on there. Let's check in with Bob Cox. He's got the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
We have some high and mid-level cloudiness around the area for a while this afternoon. That will tend to thin back out as we get into late in the day and this evening. Sundown not until 7:01 this evening. Temperatures this afternoon running about 10 degrees below average in the 35 to 40 degree range, with a light northwest wind becoming south late in the day. Partly cloudy tonight, lows in the 20s. Thursday's partly sunny with highs in the mid-40s. There's the chance for a rain or snow shower during Thursday night, the low near freezing. Partly to mostly sunny Friday, highs in the low 50s. Some rain developing Friday night, tapering off Saturday morning, remaining mostly cloudy with highs in the low 50s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's down 617 points. NASDAQ's down 219, and the S&P is down 62. 35, partly sunny in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Want to hear a shocking statistic? Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. Don't believe it? Google it. And that doesn't count serious injuries like birth injuries to perfectly healthy children. All doctors wear white jackets, but it doesn't make them all the same. Most medical errors are committed by the same quacks over and over again. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Many hospitals looking for more profits are forcing doctors and their groups to be employees of the hospital or be forced out of their system. It's a troubling trend in medicine. People make mistakes, but medical mistakes are huge and often forever. If you believe your child suffered a birth injury or a misdiagnosis or mistake led to a loved one's death or injury, let our team of medical malpractice lawyers examine your case for free. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Irby Fisher. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Sex, intimacy, love. These three things are critical to a good relationship. That's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Yeah, in news in and around the state of Connecticut, there was a press conference held Tuesday in Hartford's Legislative Office Building. More than a dozen state legislators and advocates from End Hunger Connecticut gathered to back Governor Ned Lamont's budget proposal and related bills for universal free breakfast in all Connecticut public schools. Inside the proposal, at least the core parts of the proposal, it allocates $12 million in state funding to make breakfast free for every K-12 public school student. No income eligibility is required. It's an additional $523,000 to eliminate reduced price lunch charges. This effectively giving free lunches to more than 13,000 more students. Other bills go further. Senate Bill 6 would fund both breakfast and lunch universally via grants to districts. Other proposals, a tax on sweetened beverages to pay for meals. This builds on a temporary universal school meal program during the COVID pandemic, which ended, causing participation in the program to drop. The annual cost of school breakfast and lunch can exceed $800 per child. That's for the entire, what did I say, in school year? Yeah, the annual cost, right. School meal debt across Connecticut districts totals $2 million. Districts are pulling money from other budgets to cover it. Federal changes to SNAP and Medicaid are expected to shrink the number of kids automatically qualifying for free reduced meals. No child in Connecticut should have to learn on an empty stomach, according to Maura Rader of Guilford. School breakfast is sometimes the only meal that they'll have during the day, according to Amari Brantley, who's an End Hunger Connecticut advocate. It improves academics, behavior, attendance, focus, and reduces chronic absenteeism and suspensions. Evidence from pandemic-era universal meals. Removes stigma. Kids no longer apply or stand in separate lines. It's about dignity, equity, and moral responsibility. Helps working families and those who fall just above the income cutoffs but still struggle. Pediatrician Emily Hoagland says she sees the effects of malnutrition in her Hartford patients. Now, as I'm hearing all of that, folks, you couldn't have me at this press conference, which I wish I knew about all of them. But I'm going to do what I can to get one of these people on the show. Because I need to ask one simple question. Especially about what pediatrician Emily Hoagland said. She said she sees the effects of malnutrition in her Hartford patients. Did she call DCF? Because wouldn't you? And they're trying to tell us that there are kids who are not eating. They said it. Some of these kids, we are providing the only meals they ever see. To the point where we have to spend $12 million a year. Extra, by the way, on kids so they can eat breakfast and lunch. Now, hold on, because this is important. Again, some of these kids, the only meal they get is the meal they get in school. School for some kids, I don't know what the school day starts as. Somebody may have to help me with this, but what's like 7 o'clock? Is that the time not rolling? You have a school age kid. I know high school's a little different than grade school, but what does that day start? 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock? It's got to be, right? Between 7 and 8:30. Okay, fine. Kid goes in, gets breakfast. Lunchtime, roughly about what? Noon, 1 o'clock? Yeah. Yeah, right, because a lot of kids got to eat early. You got to get every student in there to eat and get a full, some of them get in there at 10:30. So let's say some of the kids get in there at 10:30, right? That means the kid's out what? Late. What's the latest? 11? 11:15?
Probably like 12 o'clock.
Maybe 12. Maybe they get an hour lunch. You know, it could happen. That's the last meal they get in a day. That means that they aren't eating anything until they get back to school at 6:45 in the morning. What type of craziness is that? There's no DCF calling? Again.
Some of them there are. There are some of them.
These people said that some of these kids, the only meal they get is the meal they get in school. That means that they are not getting dinner at night. And this woman's talking about malnourishment. Where's DCF in all of this? That's a neglect. That's a form of neglect. The basic job of feeding kids.
There's a lot of kids that depend on school for food. So
I understand. No. First of all, in school, I understand that. Yep. I understand that they're going to be. I did the reduced meal program. I did the lunch ticket program because my mom was on welfare. I did the whole 9. I get it because my mom's a single mom, 3, 4, 5 kids. Yeah, totally get it. She could not afford it. Fine. Okay, it is subsidized. Not arguing that. But if you're telling me that these are the only meals that kids get in a day, isn't that a form of neglect?
It's something. It's definitely something. I know.
You can't feed your kid, Roland. Do you think that somebody should be knocking on your door? If the kid's coming in and telling the teacher,
absolutely.
Somebody should be knocking on your door.
The problem is not enough workers and there's too many kids that are like that.
Here's what I really believe. And this is why I say I sort of lump this in with the whole, homeschooling nonsense, right? So I lumped it in there, okay? They want to put more and more kids in the hands of Department of Children and Families. But here they're admitting that the children that they actually have in their care are malnourished. Some of them don't get a meal outside of the class.
Yep.
We're talking, and you said your daughter has lunch. I know in high school we used to have a lunch break. My first year of high school, I remember we went in at 11 o'clock. I said, that's not lunchtime. Lunch is at 1. There were like too many kids. We got to start early so that they don't end up late in the day feeding them lunch. I think the last lunch period was 1 p.m. because we had so many kids in Jamaica High School. So they had to do it like that early, which makes sense. Junior high school was a little like that too. Kids would have to start at 11. Yeah. And I was like, I always felt weird. I was like, well, I've been in school for like 2-3 hours. Like, what? We're eating lunch already? They have to do it because of large classroom sizes. Anyway, but if the kid is eating at 1 o'clock, again, 1 o'clock, most people, or I would assume most families eating at 5, 6 p.m., maybe 6, 7 the latest.
Mm-hmm.
That kid's missing that meal.
Yeah.
Then that kid's going to bed and not having another meal for another 12 hours when they get back to school. Okay? The next meal they're supposed to have is at 6, 7 o'clock. They're not going to get another meal until 12 hours later. So we are talking about if the last meal they get is at lunch, that means lunchtime. Let's say that it's the latest of the hour, 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, we are looking at 12, 6, 18 hours. The kid ain't eating. 18 hours.
Correct.
And there's no phone calls? No DCF? The kid is malnourished? Sorry, ma'am. You can't feed your own kids. If you can't feed your own kids, you can't take care of your kids because forget about shelter. Food is essential. I mean, I would put that on the top of the list.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out. What does it say here? Let me see. Every child deserves this to start the day fed. Hunger hurts learning. Behavior and attendance. Universal. No stigma. No applications. No separate lines. No, it's equitable and dignified. School meals are often the only reliable nutrition some kids get. Let's get to those kids who don't have other nutrition. $12 million is a smart investment, they say, backed by pandemic results. Better academics, fewer suspensions. They say that Connecticut should lean on this. Fine. If they think we should, then let's deal with the most important problem. And that is, why are there so many kids who are not eating any other meal outside of school? And what happens when school's over?
You know what? That's true, though, because when I was in high school, some days where I didn't have money for lunch,
yeah,
me and my boy, because his grandma used to cook all the time, we would literally leave school, go to his grandma's house. She would cook us a meal, and then we would decide whether or not we're gonna go back to school or not.
Wow.
Yeah. So I could see where they're saying, you know, that causes people not to go to school or different things like that. Because I actually did that. Me and my homeboy, we used to leave if we didn't have lunch money that day.
Yeah.
We would leave and go get a good meal.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because his grandma would cook us a good meal.
Grandma's always going to cook for you.
Come on, baby.
Come on, babies. Let's go get you some food. What you want?
And then we'll just play video games for the rest of the day.
I totally dig that. Let me go to the phones. Everybody's got an opinion about this. Let's hear them out. George is in Canton. What's going on, big guy?
Well, greetings to you, Reese.
There's my voice.
Man, it's been a while. I don't work much anymore. I'm not in my truck. A couple of issues, but nonetheless, look, just dovetailing on what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
What you just mentioned. Let me give you this straight line thought of mine, real as best as I can.
Okay.
We have been saying for some years, if you see something, say something.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the people have been saying, what are we going to do about these kids with these school shootings? I mean, they got scribbling in books, and they got things on the internet, that all kind of crazy stuff. And some of the parents actually even look at that and take it to the school, and the school says, well, that's not enough for us to be that worried.
Right.
Okay, now, so we want to stop something before it happens based on scribblings and internet scribblings.
Yeah.
Now we got the Middle East, radical Muslims. River to the sea, death to big Satan and little Satan, convert or die.
Right.
For 47 years, we have got somebody saying purposefully. Maya Angelou said, if somebody tells you who they are,
believe them. Yep.
Right. Now, so we've got clear evidence, plus they've killed, 1,000 Americans in the last whatever. So we've got people who say we want to stop school shootings based on scribblings of children with weird imaginations, and we can't stop it because it isn't clear enough that they're a threat to the school. But we've got a whole country and a whole mentality of radical Islam, not regular radicals.
George, allow me to pile on with one funny anecdote to what you just said.
I'm all ears.
How many times do you remember or recall a news story about a 5-year-old kid or a 6-year-old in kindergarten suspended for biting his Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun.
or the old fingers that we used to use of bang bang.
Yes, no. I'm just dogpiling on exactly your point about how out of sorts those two things are.
Now, how do you take any of these people seriously? And they look in the camera and they say this bill about the voting. Why? I mean, if you can get any kind of identification, which everybody seems to have, then you can you can have voter ID.
Yeah, it's insane, George. I know it is
maddening.
Thank you,
maddening.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank
I
you,
really
Reese.
appreciate it. I missed you, man. Thank you for calling back.
All right, I'll talk to you. Bye.
You got it. Tom is in Watertown. How you doing, Tom?
I'm good, Reese. How are you?
I'm all right, sir. What do you got for me?
All right, so we're going to go on the school lunch debate here, and here's what I want. Listen, as a Connecticut taxpayer, okay, listen, I want to help the kids who don't have the ability to have a lunch breakfast. All right, and let's say I want to do that. That's fine. Let's have that debate, but put all the information on the table. That's all we want. All that information on the table. Now, first thing I want to know is how many of these kids are we feeding with our tax dollars who are here in the state illegally?
Fair.
Illegally.
That's right.
My understanding is we are spending somewhere in the realm of $2.2 to $2.8 billion per year in this state on illegal aliens in our state, whether it's through housing, food, any kind of subsidies that we give out, our prison system.
In fact, Tom, let me stop you for just a quick second. Just to stay on point with what we're talking about as far as you wanted to know those numbers, and I agree with you. In my last estimate, $649 million was used alone on education for illegal children.
Yeah. So again, as a taxpayer, I have sympathy for these kids who don't have the ability to eat. The Connecticut residents.
Yes.
And we continue, and our leadership in the state continues to say out loud, we are a sanctuary state. Come one, come all.
Yeah, that's right.
We only have so much money.
Yeah, but you know what? It is true. We should have it laid out whom we are buying lunches for. And
Correct.
If it is an unforced error by the taxpayers that this number has increased, and what I mean by, and I think you mean by unforced error, by the people that you allowed to stay in this country illegally, no. We're not taking our tax dollars for them. We'd love to give that money to the citizens of the poor of this country, but you're not going to import poor people in here and then tell us we've got to buy them lunch too.
And pay more over and over and over again.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Great point, sir. I appreciate you, Tom. Let's go. Let's go to Jim in Wellington. How are you? Oh, wrong one. There we go. Hi, Jim.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what. I'd like to know how much food is provided right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's wasted.
Indeed. I can imagine kids hate school lunches.
Yeah, I would think that they would. And that's another thing. There's no reason why we can't give a disadvantaged child, when it comes to food, a decent breakfast in the morning.
Right.
Not something compiled to basically give them no nutrition at all and maybe a sugar high.
I'm trying to figure out. Wait a minute. If it costs every child $800 a year in the school system to feed. Right?
Yeah.
That means that I've got to count what the household income is. Like, that ratio seems very small for regular families, right? Because if you found out that it cost you $800 a year, how many months in the school year do we have? 6, 7?
You go from September to June.
So, September to June. So you're looking at, but don't forget, we actually start pretty early in August in some places. So we got like late August. So we got 10 months of school. That's almost a year. That's about $80 a month to feed a kid. What are we doing at home that they can spend so little?
Well, the other part that I wanted to add is that in no way do I agree with just get a carte blanche. Doesn't make any difference how much a family makes. Everybody's going to get a meal.
Sure.
If you believe that, then you also have to ask yourself, well, geez, I'm taking food out of the mouths of children that need it because I'm giving another child a meal that he doesn't need at all.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so I agree with what the last caller said. If a child's in need and they're going to school to eat, fine. You know what? If you want to spend the money and limit who can get it based on income or their family circumstances, then give them a meal to take home of some sort.
That's right.
There are all kinds of meals that can be taken home or brought. The Army eats them, you eat them, I eat them. Give them a meal to take home.
That's right. Hey, look, that's what I said, because according to this, that's what they're saying, which I think they're BSing us when they're saying some of these kids is the only meal they get. I don't believe that there are a bunch of poor families at home telling their kids around dinner time, sorry, kids, no food today. I mean, if there is, we've got an epidemic of that, maybe we should address that first. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they should let me end by this. They should look at the money we're spending, which nobody ever, the only one that's taking this on is the Trump administration.
Yeah.
But why don't you have a Doge-like audit, independent, free from the Connecticut State Legislature and everybody else, and see how much money, of which there's plenty, where is it all going?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you they'd be able to find enough money to fund some of the things they want to fund, no matter what your politics are.
100% right. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you, buddy. Got to take a break. We'll be back. Folks, stay on the line. You're obviously hot to trot on this one, and I want your phone calls. So we'll return in a minute. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, Eric Hogarth with Money Wisdom. This week we tackle what makes the risk of outliving your money so real in today's financial landscape and what you can do about it. Tune into Money Wisdom on TIC News Talk 1080.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Radner, and I am so excited to tell you about How We Made Your Mother, a rewatch podcast looking back at How I Met Your Mother. And I'm here with Craig Thomas, who co-created the show along with Carter Bays. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Josh. Somehow it has been 20 years since the show premiered. I'm going to check the math on that. 10 years since it went off the air, and we thought that made this a perfect time to look back, see what the hell we did, and why the show still seems to resonate with fans around the world today.
Follow and listen to How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcast.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-9701. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-507-9701. That's 800-507-9701. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 3:30, Hartford temperature 35 degrees, partly sunny skies. I'm John Silva. Police in Bridgeport have released an age progression photo of a girl who went missing nearly a quarter century ago. Bianca LeBron disappeared on her way to school in November of 2001. She told friends she was going to the mall with her uncle, got in a van, and was never seen again. A photo of Bianca, who'd be 34 now, is posted to our website, WTIC.com. At a meeting last night, Hartford's school superintendent spelled out a dire financial situation for city schools. Dr. Andre Townsell says they're staring down the barrel of a $70 million deficit, says they hope to be able to tap into the city's fund balance for some assistance. West Hartford police say 3 people were injured in a crash last night. 4 adults were in a vehicle that hit a pole on New Britain Avenue. That road was shut for several hours in the area of New Park and South Street for the investigation. Federal Reserve officials expect the Iran war will worsen inflation this year while having little impact on growth, but they still expect to cut the key rate once in 2026. For now, The Fed left short-term interest rates unchanged for the second straight meeting. Mark Wayne Mullen says he'd be a steady hand at the Department of Homeland Security if he is confirmed as secretary. He faced pushback from fellow senators at a hearing today as DHS tries to move on from Kristi Noem. Democratic senators also pressing the government's top intelligence official about the war in Iran. That includes whether Tulsi Gabbard had advised President Trump that Iran was likely to block the Strait of Hormuz if Iran was attacked. Gabbard appeared at a Senate hearing today and repeatedly deflected questions about the intel she had offered the president. WTIC News Time 3:31. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Temperatures continue to run 5 to 10 degrees below the historical average for this part of March. While it will stay cold through tonight, temperatures will begin to moderate starting with tomorrow. For the rest of today, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 38 degrees. Partly to mostly cloudy and cold tonight, low 23. A mix of sun and clouds tomorrow, not as cold, high 46. Mostly cloudy tomorrow night with a few snow flurries in the area, especially late at night, low 31. Mostly cloudy on Friday, breezy and somewhat warmer Friday afternoon with a high of 55. Saturday, cloudy in the morning, a mix of clouds and sun during the afternoon, and a high temperature of 58. Sunday, morning clouds and maybe a shower, lingering cloud cover Sunday afternoon, a high up to 61 degrees. Back to colder weather on Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a gusty breeze, and a high of 44 degrees, and temperatures dropping into the 20s Monday night. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
In Farmington, look out for a two-vehicle crash westbound 84 between exits 39A and 39 that has the right lane blocked. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and at newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Put those shovels away because spring is finally upon us. Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Everyone knows that spring is the time for rebirth, renewal, and new beginnings. So what better way to welcome in spring than to give your old bathroom and kitchen a fresh start, a new beginning? Visit Modern Plumbing Showroom today on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin. See the latest trends, colors, and styles, and spring into a rebirth for your kitchen and bath.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Lenseek.
Meta may be adding a smartwatch to its device offerings. The information reports that the Facebook and Instagram parent is developing a watch that's codenamed Malibu 2 and will include a built-in Meta AI assistant and have health tracking features. Meta previously shelved its smartwatch plans 5 years ago, but is now expected to take on Apple with its new device later this year. I'm Jason Brooks.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to Lenseek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. Lenseek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. Lenseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I've had the privilege of seeing miracles, broken families rebuilt, every crash, every workplace injury, every medical mistake. Fighting back can work. We've gone toe-to-toe with insurance giants, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion recovered. Size matters. Reputation matters. Results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Paid for by government. The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. They will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full-pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. You can own a full pound of original U.S. silver silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again, guaranteed. Call now to secure original United States silver eagles by the pound, the first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-560-6468 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-560-6468.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Brian Jackman here for Serta Pro Painters. Listen, I had an incredible experience with them. They gave me a great estimate. They were there on time, and when they came to paint our kitchen, they were in and out, and when they were gone, it was like they were never there, except they left a beautiful kitchen. Maybe it's time for you to take a look at their spring sales event. You can get 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. Serta Pro Painters, they're independently owned and operated right here in our community, so you might want to give them a call. Start spring off right. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Serta with a C.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Child Advocate.
Checked. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
All right, we are loaded for bear on the lines, and I want to get everybody in, so I will try to be as quick as possible. Let's start with Chris. He's in West Hartford. How are you, sir? You're with Reese on the Radio.
Good, Reese. How you doing?
I'm all right, sir. What do you got?
That's good. I work at a school.
Okay.
And long-term substitute teacher. Kind of a second career. I used to work in insurance.
Okay.
With major insurance company. But I just wanted to say that they do provide dinners at many schools.
Really?
Yeah, and the dinner it's not like it starts at 6 or even 5 or it starts around 3:15 to 3:30 somewhere in there, and it goes to like.
So the kids, just so I understand, Chris, the children are staying after school hours to eat what would be considered dinner?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So is it part of like the after school programs? I remember those as a kid.
It's similar, but except it's food instead of meeting with a teacher and getting a little
extra
getting
help,
a little strength in their math or
right.
whatever. But some of them if they ate a late lunch, they'll maybe some of them have Ziploc bags or whatever. They'll just throw it in a bag and bring it home and eat it that way.
In your school, did you see a large number of students? If you had to guesstimate how many children you saw in your school a part of this program after school, how many would you say?
I would say it's about maybe 1/8 of the student body. it's a very large school, so we're talking maybe 100.
What?
Yeah, 100 or more.
100 kids. Now, these are children who have to be a part of this program because they are not provided meals at home.
I think, and I think it's voluntary. I think they choose.
Okay.
Their parents say, "Hey, I'm not going to be either that," or they know they're not going to get a meal, so they say, "Okay, here, I got to get something." I remember during COVID. They would drop off these horrible Subway sandwiches that were, I wouldn't even feed to a rat. I mean, these are the worst sandwiches in the world. But there was a starving kid who was Islamic. He was a really decent kid, but
he couldn't eat it.
And he would eat the whole damn thing. And he would ask me if there was another one out in the hallway, that somebody just left. He would say, can I have that one too? And I'd say, yeah, sure, if you're hungry, yeah. And there are kids who are literally starving out there. And
what is going on? It's not that I don't believe that it's there. Roland is streaming it to me. Michael B is saying that he was one of those kids.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Maybe there's a disconnect here between me.
This kid, apparently, I guess, from what I understand, from what I heard, his parents were very poor. There was just the mother. The father wasn't there, and the mother was, trying to take care of like 6 kids, and it was mostly the younger kids that she would feed. And she kind of told him, "You get what you can at school," and
I guess it's the only way. But you've got to.
Yeah, it was a very tough situation.
Chris,
I can remember actually in one case. This is years ago. When I first started doing this, I was leading a kid. A kid was he was walking around. I'm hungry. And in the middle of the class, he was a kindergarten kid. So I said, okay, I'm going to take him. I told one of the paras, I said, okay, I'm going to take him to the principal and let him get some food,
But my question to you is here, how are you not – aren't you compelled to – if you know that kids are starving, this is probably like the worst kind of neglect. Aren't you guys kind of supposed to mandatory report that kind of stuff?
Yeah, mandated reporter, exactly. And so I that's why I took him to the principal, and I put my hand on his back, and I'll tell you, his
bones,
his backbones were so sharp, on his shoulder blades were so sharp that they I could feel how sharp they were. He was literally like a concentration camp survivor. I mean, literally.
Yeah, I know. I get you. Yeah, I get you. I know you're not trying to be disrespectful, but I get your point. You're trying to.
And I brought him to the principal, and I told the principal, I said, you go ahead and touch his shoulder blades, and you'll see he's starving. He said, I said, you've got to report. I said, you should report this.
You have to.
The principal gave him a little box of raisins, and you would have thought the kid was in heaven eating those raisins. I mean,
Chris,
so, yeah, there are some, and I guarantee you his mother, I would bet anything his mother was probably a drug addict.
Poor kid. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate the story, man. Thank you so much. Reese. Let me get to Teresa. Thanks for holding, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa. Hi, Reese. How are you?
I'm good. What's up?
Good. So a couple things. I'm listening to all these phone calls, and that last one was terrible. And I'm sure that there are kids out there that are like that. But all this conversation just makes me think about my grandparents. They had 8 kids, and they were not rich. My uncles hunted, and my dad said they'd eat potato soup. There was one year that they ate it like morning, noon, and night. He was so sick of it. But my point in that being like, they took care of their own families. They weren't looking for somebody else to take care of them. And my aunt used to say, they had a big family, and a lot of people had big families out of necessity.
Yeah.
Because they helped provide for the family through farming and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I had an aunt that said, our neighbors knew that we had, 7 kids. So they would just leave a box of canned goods or hand-me-down clothes on the steps, no questions asked. And I feel like that's really lacking in society.
So true. I mean, it's so funny. A.J. Johnson was here talking about providing for his community. And I keep saying, it's like, what community are you talking about? That community does not take care of itself. It only sees each other as the same color, the same ethnicity, but they don't see each other as a community that helps itself out. They don't do things like that. Like a newborn baby is in the neighborhood and the entire community comes together and donates baby clothes or hand-me-down baby clothes from other children that they've had. You never see that in these communities, and it's incredible that you don't.
Right, and I think that's why some people are so frustrated with the constant, between Connecticut's governor constantly saying, "Oh, we're going to have a shortfall this year," but in the meantime, honestly, I feel like they are always saying that in Connecticut, and they are always saying that, but
it's okay if you lost your train of thought.
They're making Connecticut stay on top by these kids that really do need it. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But they always want these programs, and it's just a way for them to take money in and skim out.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Because, again, there should be no kids starving. And if they are, that should be the focus, not another program while they're starving and not answering the obvious and the legitimate question. If this is the only meal that they're getting, the focus should be on the fact that these kids aren't eating at home and they have to rely on school because schools ain't 24/7.
Right, and they got to be asking the parents, why aren't these kids eating? Our children are our responsibilities.
That's right. Exactly. I'm going to get into that a little bit too. Thank you, thank you, Teresa. I've got to grab some others here, but thank you. Let's go to Janet real quick. Hey, Janet, how are you?
Good. How are you, Reese?
I'm all right. What do you got?
I'm just calling. You hit the nail on the head with the lunch thing and DCF. Back in the early 70s in Meriden, where I live, they were just trying to introduce free breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
They looked for volunteers in the city, parents, to form a committee, like a bipartisan committee. My mother got on a committee of what to do about this. And she said, she says, I have 4 kids. They have cereal for breakfast. They're fine. She said, if they're not getting fed, the first thing you need to do is have DCF go to the house and find out what the problem is.
Yep.
And, well, that side lost out. They decided, I don't know whether it's, to get political votes, or they just figured it was easier to pick our pockets to do it. But so that introduced it, and it just morphed into everybody. I believe in the city, every child, regardless of income, gets free breakfast, free lunch.
Yeah, but leaving that last important meal, though, Janet, that most important meal at the end of the day, you're sending those kids home into a household where they're not going to be fed. I mean, I guess with the exception of what Chris is talking about, those kids who stay in after 3 o'clock who are going to get fed. But even with that, that kid, even if their final meal of the day is at 3:45 or 4 o'clock, they are not going to get another meal, nothing in their body until 6:45, 7 o'clock the next day.
Right. I know. I also, when I retired, I worked part-time for a little while in some of the school cafeterias. It was mostly elementary, happened to be, but I was like a sub and I'm sure, and there definitely are children that need it, but the waste just blew my mind when I saw the waste of food. The food is not nutritious, and you know what? I guess it can't be. You're feeding too many kids. You don't have the Reese's or the kitchen space in these schools to make a nutritious meal. They always wanted them to take like a fruit. Well, and then the kicker, the one school had this little boy who was so cute. I remember sometimes he wanted a second piece of fruit.
You know what, Janet, you brought up a good point about
only one.
You brought up a good point about the quality of food, because again, according to their own data, they're saying that each kid is getting $800 a year in expenses for food. Look, I don't know about you, but when we have a teenage boy in the house, and even when I had kids in the house, our grocery bills were close to $1,000.
I know. That's what I said. That's nothing.
That's nothing. So $800. You were giving them the bare minimum.
But they're feeding so many kids that you can't possibly do it. But so the nutrition isn't there. Maybe if they eat a piece of fruit, it is. But you can't force them to eat the fruit, but you have to make them take it.
Yeah.
And then it all
gets wasted.
Your mind would be boggled if you saw what went into the trash.
Yeah.
What was wasted.
Thank you.
And, as far as, like, cereal's so cheap, and that's what they give them. That's
exactly.
What I grew up on. I mean.
It is. It is. Not only is it cheap, but I think it's like pennies on the box of cereal because that's what they give them. Thank you, Janet. I got to go to a break, but thank you so much for holding on. We'll get to the rest of the phone calls. We'll get to the rest of you in a second. Thank you for calling. I promise I'll get to you. Paula, you're up next when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
We're back real quick. Let's go to Paula. Thank you for holding, Paula. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you, Reese. How are you?
I'm all right. What do you got for me?
Wow. About this luncheon and food and kids not eating, that's very sad to me to hear.
Yeah.
And my parents, who worked a job each, so they were never home. As you know, I told you I was a latchkey, but we always had food to eat. And we were hand-me-downs and everything like that. And, you know, we had that. And I had struggle also with my kids. And that's one thing I made sure is that my kids had breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I kind of feel like that is job number one because hand-me-downs are an easy thing to come by. You know, it's like I think that parents, I think universally when parents get together, neighbors or whatever it is, they have these conversations about things like buying the kids clothing, right? They have these things where like, oh, I got to go get Susie some new jeans, and they're so expensive because she wants this. And then another mother will go, well, my Carla, she's gotten big. She's got a couple of pairs of jeans I know that will fit on Susie. That's the kind of relationship that people have where clothing is kind of a secondary thing to the fact that most families are always thinking about, I got to keep the kid fed. It's aside from keeping a roof over their head, I think that's job one. No?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I used to go to like Love Kohl's. The 95% discount. So once upon a child, secondhand clothes, still in good shape. My girls went, shopping at those kind of stores, that, secondhand.
Yeah.
And they saved a lot of money. And a lot of stuff was brand new with the original ticket on it.
That's right.
Yes. You can find good stuff. My kids
Let me tell you
a lot of clothes.
You know what I loved about the 90s, Paula? And you will remember this. It was a weird era in the 90s when the girls more so than the guys, but the girls started to go crazy over vintage clothing. And everybody was swarming the Goodwill and the thrift stores. I mean, hell, there's a popular rap record about it, where people, they find the craziest and the wildest styles. It became so trendy that it actually saved parents money.
It did. And my kids growing up in the late 90s, and so they went to work.
Yep.
When they were 16 and 17, they bought their own clothes, and yet they still went to the Salvation Army or whatever.
Isn't that wild?
To go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but it helps the wallet. It really,
Lord
in
knows.
this economy.
You know why it helps the wallet?
In this state,
Paula, the reason why it helps the wallet, because then parents can do the thing that they do best, and that's feed their kids. Because that is incredible. You can't feed them with hand-me-downs. Oh, thank you, Paula. I gotta take a break, but I appreciate you. Thanks for holding.
Yep.
Let's get to our first check of weather and traffic for the show. Mark Christopher is here. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, buddy.
Let's go down to the thrift store, baby. Get some deals.
I should have known you were going to come up with it.
Macklemore.
That's him.
It was 99 cents.
Here you go. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese 84 eastbound, you've got delays. 44 Prospect Oakwood down to 48 Capitol Avenue. Westbound 84 just a little slow getting over the Bothie Bridge. 91 southbound's a little slow at 32 A and B. Northbound 91's quiet. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury and East Hartford. Quiet Middletown, 84 westbound in Cheshire, slowing 26 up to 25 in Waterbury. And 95 south, a little slow, 46 down to exit 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Temperatures continue to run 5 to 10 degrees below the historical average for this part of March. While it will stay cold through tonight, temperatures will begin to moderate starting with tomorrow. For the rest of today, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 38 degrees. Partly to mostly cloudy and cold tonight, low 23. A mix of sun and clouds tomorrow, not as cold, high 46. And mostly cloudy tomorrow night with a few snow flurries in the area, especially late at night, low 31. Mostly cloudy on Friday, breezy and somewhat warmer Friday afternoon with a high of 55. Saturday, cloudy in the morning, a mix of clouds and sun during the afternoon, and a high temperature of 58. Sunday, morning clouds and maybe a shower. Lingering cloud cover Sunday afternoon, a high up to 61 degrees. Back to colder weather on Monday. Intervals of clouds and sunshine with a gusty breeze, and a high of 44 degrees, and temperatures dropping into the 20s Monday night. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. After debate today and a lengthy public hearing last week, state lawmakers on the Education Committee have voted not to advance a bill that would have given the state more oversight of homeschooling. Republican State Senator Heather Summers summed up the argument against the plan.
So I think that this bill introduces bureaucratic requirements that are unnecessary, expands government oversight and overreach. It has financial disincentives for some schools.
A Democrat committee co-chair, Jennifer Leeper, argued for it.
What we are trying to do is have some system for the people who are withdrawing their children to hide neglect or abuse, or who have no intent to educate their child, and provide some parameters. Either maybe it will prevent you from withdrawing your child if you know someone's actually going to look for you to be accountable.
Again, the State Education Committee, or the Legislature's Education Committee, has turned down a plan for more state oversight of homeschooling. Hartford school system is facing fiscal challenges, to say the least, to the tune of a projected future deficit of $70 million. At a Board of Education meeting Tuesday night, school superintendent Dr. Andre Townsell said out-of-district special ed costs are among the reasons for the budget shortfall.
Our deficit is driven by special education tuition and door-to-door transportation for Hartford resident students who do not attend Hartford Public Schools. This includes non-Hartford Public School magnet schools, open choice schools, and out-of-district placements.
He says the Municipal Accountability Review Board had recognized $74 million in the city's fund balance. Townsell says he's an advocate for some of that money going toward education. Some eye-opening numbers when it comes to teens using AI to create sexualized images. The study finds 55% of teens in the U.S. have done so. A third say a sexualized image of them has been distributed without their consent. Chad Steele is a digital forensics professor at George Mason University. He says, surprisingly, girls do it almost as much as boys.
When we look at things like sexting or use of any type of sexualized imagery in that age group, boys are always more than girls. But we've seen that gap narrowing as the years go on. And in this particular study, the gap was much smaller than expected.
Intelligence officials testified about the Iran war and threats confronting the homeland today. National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard.
Iran has previously demonstrated space launch and other technology it could use to begin to develop a militarily viable ICBM before 2035.
In a written version of her statement, Gabbard said Iran's nuclear capabilities were wiped out last year and had not restarted. When pressed by Democrats why she omitted it during her oral testimony, Gabbard said she was pressed for time. Hartford police have made arrests in a sex trafficking case involving juveniles. The Special Investigations Division launched the investigation last September. Detectives say they found that 2 juveniles were being trafficked through an online application and transported to a location in the city. Warrants were issued for 27-year-old Akeem Harris and 23-year-old Shea Broden. Harris was picked up in December. The investigation yielded information on Broden, and she was arrested Tuesday while already incarcerated. Both are facing multiple counts of trafficking in persons and risk of injury. A group of Democrats at the U.S. Capitol is denouncing the Save America Act requiring proof of citizenship and photo ID to vote. President Trump is pressing Congress to pass it. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Instead of doing something about the real problems, they're trying to fix the election because they know damn well that if the election were held today, they would lose.
Wall Street, the Dow down over 700 points, the NASDAQ down over 300, S&P down 91. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Let's take a step back in time to an era when things were built right, built to last, and a handshake meant something. Yankee Home delivers that same craftsmanship still today. It's midwinter, and you can really feel it every time you walk by your old windows. Cold drafts sneaking in, warm air slipping out, and some mornings you can see your breath inside. It's time to call Yankee Home. Yankee Home's energy-efficient, high-quality windows are designed to keep the warm air in and the cold air out all winter long. And every job is done right the first time, never catty-wampus. Take advantage of our winter special. Buy 4 or more windows and get free installation or financing options like 0 down and 0% interest. Call Yankee Home now at 1-800-885-HOME. That's 1-800-885-HOME. Or visit yankeehome.com.
Yankee Home makes it easy as can be with our never cattywampus lifetime guarantee. Yankee Home.
On approved credit, restrictions apply.
It's It's Reese on the Radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. We will get to more of your phone calls, so stand by for that. Plus, we've got stupidest things I've read today coming up, as well as music news. Where, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the Universal Free Food Program that was introduced by Governor Lamont to make sure that every child gets breakfast or lunch throughout the day during the school year. And again, I see a bigger problem here, and I think it's being ignored. In fact, I just got a text message a minute ago. I want to make sure that I rep the person who made it. So Senator Eric Berthel, today in a hearing, said something Reese on the Radio has been saying for the longest. In fact, the exact quote that was given in the text message says, Senator Eric Berthel's comments today, DCF are in line with what you said on the air. And it's not because I'm, some mystic figure. It's because it's common sense. Here's what the senator said.
Child advocate also stated publicly yesterday to me in a hearing that she agrees the real cause of these tragic events is a catastrophic failure of the Department of Children and Families. You can go watch her say it yourself on CTN and watch the executive nominations hearing from yesterday. So all of this begs the question, why would we want DCF to be involved at all in the monitoring or regulation of homeschoolers when the agency has demonstrated they cannot handle the cases they are already monitoring?
And they clearly have much more cases to deal with, and the governor is admitting it, along with all the rest of these advocates. They've got a lot of pending DCF cases. Now imagine that. If you're a homeschool parent, okay, and you're having these hearings today and last week, and then this story comes out with a bunch of people saying, hey, we got a bunch of malnourished kids that parents can't feed, and they don't have a DCF file? What? I don't know. Dana's going to kill me. He hates when I talk about DCF. But I'm just saying, you just got to talk about it. This stuff is ridiculous. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. That's better than this DCF conversation. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you are in the Hartford area and you're going 91 southbound, a little slow down at 33 Jennings Road. Eastbound 84 is a little slow, 46 Eastern Avenue down to the Bulkley. Westbound 84 loses some speed, 48 down to 47 Sigourney. 291 through 84, OK2 eastbound moving well into Glastonbury. 84 westbound in Cheshire, a little slow, 26 up to 25 in Waterbury. And if you are traveling on the southbound side of the Parkway, a little tight approaching the West Rock Tunnel. South 95 New Haven slows 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Remaining very chilly the rest of today with intervals of clouds and sun at a high of 38. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight. Another cold night, low 23. And a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow, high 46. Friday, mostly cloudy. Breezy in the afternoon, but not as cold, with a high reaching 55. Right now, it is 37 in Unionville. It's 36 in Windsor, 35 degrees in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
For all station contest rules, go to WTIC.com and click contests. That's WTIC.com and click contests.
UConn's Silas Demery Jr. and Braylon Mullins know winning takes trust, hustle, and the right team.
I work both ends of the court. That's the only way to win.
And when the pressure's on, I trust my team on the court and in life.
That's why they trust BPS lawyers, handling personal injury, family law, and more.
I'm Nick Payne-Derritz. At BPS Lawyers, we're one full-service firm. All your legal needs, always.
BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life.
Hola, amigos! Brad Evans here. Check out this booming voice and Pat Boyle on BetMGM tonight, covering the biggest sports stories from coast to coast, live and interactive on the free Odyssey app, discussing NFL offseason news and getting you ready for the madness in college hoops. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night, starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Always live on the free Odyssey app and watch on YouTube at BetMGM tonight.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I'll get to the phone calls in a second, and thank you guys for holding. Let me read a couple of comments here in the chat room. Sparky is on ReeseOnTheRadio.com, and he writes, what about the kids with food restrictions? How is that fair to all the kids who may be allergic to certain foods? Like, do they have a special carve-out for those children? I would imagine they have something in that. They would have to. In this day and age, I'm almost certain they do, Sparky. Thank you for the comment, and thank you for going to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. You could do that, too. Let me read a couple of these other ones here. Jason says, my wife works as a lunch lady in the city of Meriden. She tells me that over 50% of the breakfast goes into the garbage. Kids don't eat it. Just saying. Let me see another one that says, Marie Ellen says, why do we need to feed and buy meals for kids that are not yours? I don't know. I agree with you. Rick says, hey, Reese, I've been going to the chiropractor for 25 years. The best move I've ever made. Okay, listen, I've never been, but, people swear by it. Michael B. says, I actually agree with the free food in school. I used to be that kid that didn't eat at home most of the time. Michael B., you should call in because I need to understand what that's like. I grew up in a poor household as well. I ate school lunches and breakfast. I did, but my mom did provide meals at home, and we ate at dinner. Now, I wouldn't have considered myself privileged. I know we were poor because, trust me, my mom got her food stamps at the first of the month, and they would last, if we're good, maybe 20, 21 days. And I remember like 9 days of no food in the house, or at least the food that we didn't eat left over, which was a lot of rice and a lot of cornbread mix, which was like 6-7 days of that stuff. Liver was a huge part of our, yeah, man, I ate a lot of liver and lima beans. Lima beans. I don't even understand that. It's like, it was the lima beans, I didn't understand. I never understood that. I thought that was punishment. Liver, lima beans. Like, what? Why are we eating this?
I used to sit at the table because my mom would be like, you're going to eat all this food, and you better not get up from this table until you eat it because this is all we have.
Yep.
And I would just push that bowl in front and fold my arms on the table and put my head down and go to sleep.
Really?
Yeah. Yep, until she say, get off that table, sleep, and go to your room. Get out my face.
Yeah.
Which took a couple hours.
You would wear her out.
Yeah. I wasn't eating it. I just rather be hungry.
Yeah. See, now I understand your obsession with food. I ate everything. It didn't matter how horrible it was. I ate it.
Ugh.
It didn't matter. It didn't. Roseanne says that to me all the time. She goes, why is it that you never tell me what you want for dinner? You'll just eat anything I make. And I'm like, you cooked. That's all I care about. I've never had a relationship with food where I'm picky. I ate what was fed to me, and that came from my mother. Call it an abuse sort of trigger. It's not really for me. I just go, this is the food we have. This is the food I'm eating. And I can treat myself to stuff I want. If I want a big porterhouse, I'll go to a restaurant to get that done. In a restaurant is where you can order your food. In home, you eat what's for dinner.
Even to this day, I can't do it. I be like, would you make? Yeah, I can't eat that.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a
bolder man than me. I'll tell you that. You are.
What's the worst that could happen? You get yelled at and not talked to for a couple of days. I'll take that every time.
Wow. Are these parents who don't feed their kids not getting SNAP benefits? Great question, Jason. John Beckman says, if I remember correctly, when I was in high school in 1976 to 1980, goodness, you're old. I was in junior high. Poverty was, we had a small square pizza, applesauce, served for lunch. I miss applesauce. I miss it. There's no such thing as breakfast or dinner served at school. You're 100% right, but things have changed. Donald says poverty is the root cause of hunger. Duh. Poverty exists not because we cannot feed the poor, but because we cannot satisfy the rich. Yeah, right. Anyway. Yeah, right. Is this Mike in Thomaston? Let me go to him real quick. I promise I'll get to the rest of you in a second, but let me get Mike real quick. So, Mike, if I can, before I grab the other folks out there, you were one of these kids who ate breakfast and lunch. It was the only meal you got at dinner time at home. Nothing?
Most of the time, yes. 'Cause
okay.
Back in 83 or 84, my brother passed away from SIDS.
Okay.
My dad ended up having a nervous breakdown and went bat crap crazy.
Wow.
So he was on disability and all that. And when my parents got divorced, I was primarily with him.
Oh.
So disability only gave him $500 a month.
Wow.
He got maybe $300 in SNAP benefits for the both of us. And with him not thinking correctly, that money didn't last long.
Wow.
You know, and I barely even got breakfast until I got into middle school because the elementary schools didn't even give it.
So did you just spend the evenings with no food, or did you have to make other provisions like neighbors or friends or, dare I say it, shoplift? What did you do?
No, I sold weed. That's what I did as a kid. In order to feed myself at 13 years old, I started selling weed.
Wow. Michael B., I would have never known that. But that...
Yeah.
No, that's tragic, and that's
horrible.
horrible.
It makes you stronger.
Yeah, no, I hear that too. I hear that too. I mean, you didn't... Look, I don't see you as a bitter guy, but I know that there are a lot of people who have been in that position, and it would have been like sort of me against the world, kind of like the world is a screwed up place and that sort of bitterness. I know that's not your style. You're a stand-up guy. But that, again, to me, I'm looking at that situation and I'm going, nothing frustrates me more than no one recognizing that, as far as like a community around you recognizing that and not grabbing you and saying, okay, we got to get this kid in a better situation. But I know that because I went through it too. I was coming into school with bruises all over my body. My mother would make me go to school in short-sleeve shirts to make sure they saw my abuse. No rescue. So I totally get that.
What ate at me more, my neighbors, the community, the school, all that helped me more than my aunts or uncles.
Wow.
Especially on my mom's side, because my parents' divorce wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
My dad was crazy, like nuts.
Yeah.
But they always downed him and downed me because of it, and not a single one of them ever reached out to ask if I was okay or help in any way, shape, or form. I got more help from my neighbors than I ever got from my family.
But you know what? I will tell you this, the character that was built from that, because when the first time I got to know you, Michael B., what were you more concerned about when we connected? You were talking about serving your community, fighting to keep your community safe and sound for your kids and other kids around. So imagine, the beauty of that is that because your community came to the rescue, you, in fact, fought really, really hard to do the same thing. So there was a plus side to that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And the way I see it now is no matter what I go at, like when I got the predatory teachers out of Region 14, with that guy John, all that,
not
a single person on this planet can ever hit me harder than life did.
I hear that.
So I'm willing to take the punches. You're about to see me start making a lot of noise here in Thomaston because they just canceled that History Rocks thing with Linda McMahon.
Oh yeah.
Because the teachers union and the Democrats on the school board are citing safety reasons.
Yeah. Safety from who?
Causing harm. Yeah, the only people causing harm are Democrats.
Yeah, exactly. Safety reasons. In other words, you law-abiding conservative citizens, it's not for your safety is at risk because of these bozos. Exactly right. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much, man.
Have a good one.
Thank you, man. You too. Let's go to Carmela. Thank you for holding, Carmela. What's up?
Hey, I just had to chuckle at the last thing Michael B. said about safety reasons for Linda. So she's a danger, but taking them out to these protests out in public is no danger for students. But look out for that Linda McMahon.
Yeah. Woo. That crazy old lady. She may kneecap you.
I know. So I also wanted to address Sparky's question about allergies because I work in a school.
Okay.
And from the minute they enter school, their allergies are made to the teachers, to the cafeteria workers.
Mm-hmm.
They learn real fast who's allergic to what, and a lot of the foods that they give don't have allergens. If they, they don't serve peanut butter in school or anything.
Right.
But if they do have an allergy and they can't be around kids who bring peanut butter, they have a special table for allergy students.
Do they put a bell around the kid or something?
No, but when they put their lunch number in, it'll come up with, if they're allergic to milk, and instantly the lunch lady will look down, and if they have, there was a girl who was allergic to pineapple but loved it. And that lunch lady would snatch that pineapple off her tray if it came up on her.
I've never heard of anybody allergic
screen.
to pineapple. I've never heard. There are people who are allergic to pineapple.
It made her throat itch. It made her throat itch. So it wasn't like a anaphylaxis thing, but so they do get a thing that flashes across their screen because everybody who goes through the lunch line has to put in their number that follows them from the day they start school to the day they graduate.
I would actually start laughing that if they put a chip in a kid and it gets near peanut butter and the kid starts beeping, that would be weird.
That would be funny. So I just really wanted to weigh in on the lunch breakfast thing because I'm in an urban district where they do get free breakfast and lunch. There are a lot of needy kids, but the food is garbage. And it is like donut sticks and sticky buns and sugar cereal for breakfast with juice and raisins, and some days a cheese stick, which would be probably the healthiest thing. But again, a lot of kids go down and get the breakfast just so they can delay going upstairs.
Yeah.
They want to see if their friends are in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
And then they walk out and they drop that whole bag of food in the garbage can.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's disgusting in itself. At lunchtime, we have kids that come with whole lunch boxes full of snacks. And they'll go through the line and get their lunch, and then they'll sit there and eat their snacks and throw the lunch in the garbage.
Wow.
But the lunches are, I think, there's pizza 3 times a week.
So why, wait a minute, I don't understand it, Carmela. Why would a kid go online? Is it mandatory that they pick up a tray? Is that sort of a mandated?
No, but it's otherwise you're just stuck at the table the whole time. So you could go stand in line with your friends, or there might be one thing on the tray that they're going to get a cookie that day on their tray, or they do like the pizza, but they're not going to eat the rest of the stuff on their tray.
Shouldn't we tell the kid to make it I hate to put it that way, but why don't we just tell the kid, lunch optional, just to save money? You come in and you just go, I know, well, it actually doesn't matter because it's going to be a waste because if they don't eat it, it's going to get thrown away by the school staff anyway, right? It's not going to end up in some homeless shelter.
Yeah, no, there's no donation going on. I do have some solutions to suggest at the end of this, but I just wanted to say, in summer school, when you work summer school and the kids come in for breakfast, the kids will say they don't want the breakfast, and they make you take it anyway so they can check it off on their list how many breakfasts they gave because of the funding.
That's true.
Somebody is making a fortune on all this garbage food. And I think there's contracts and Palms being, I mean, it's my opinion that Palms.
No, you're 100% right. That is not, listen, you are not telling tales out of school. You're 100% right. It is always a funding issue. What was the solution that you have? How many of them do you have?
Okay, so like if for breakfast, when kids are like just going down the stand in line or whatever, they should have the items separated so you could just grab an apple.
Agreed.
Or grab a cheese stick, or if you don't have to take the milk, but a lot of kids take it. But if you just want to take one item and go upstairs and eat it while everybody else is eating their breakfast, instead of making them take a whole bag of food and throwing it in the garbage, let them take one piece of food and throw it in the garbage. They shouldn't make them take the whole amount. And then for lunches, they should also offer other options. Like when you get up in the older grades, there's like deli sandwiches and prepackaged salads and stuff like that. They just let the kids take what they want instead of, you have to take a fruit or have to take the,
we have to find, Carmela, we have to find a way to transfer that school. I know a lot of it is perishable, but there must be a transfer to some of these food pantries when the kids don't eat it day to day. So there is no waste, because we should not see trash bins at schools loaded up with a bunch of food that they didn't eat. It has to be utilized. And I don't know exactly how they do it, but I'm sure that they can find a way, because if they're wasting food at the level that some of these people are talking about, 50% in some schools, we've got to find a way to transfer that to other places that will eat it.
Yeah, so I think like in the urban districts or your poorest districts, so maybe you give everybody the free option. But when I get online talking to people, immediately you're a racist if you don't want to feed the kids in Greenwich, right? So Greenwich, Fairfield, we got to feed all these kids that have money.
Yeah,
so poor kids.
I know. Look, and again, I'm still trying to figure out. So again, Governor Lamont wants to feed every kid, no matter their socioeconomic standing.
Right.
In the West, I'm like, okay, now it seems like we're just wasting money if that's the case.
Yeah,
but I
that
don't get it.
To me makes the food contract suspicious.
I would too.
You're buying food for every kid. So previously, it was income based. When my daughter was in school, they hounded us to fill out that form.
That's right.
Even though I knew we wouldn't qualify, they hounded us. So even if they said to people that didn't fill out the forms, like say, 90% of the kids in Greenwich brought their forms in and said, no thanks, we don't need the free lunch.
That's right.
Then just automatically feed the 10% that didn't bring their forms in.
And save us all the money that you possibly can. Carmela, I got to go to a break, but thank you so much, okay?
Okay. Bye, Reese.
Bye-bye. You got it. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. If you're heading into Hartford on the westbound side of 84, delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47, Sigourney 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. Southbound 91's a little tight, 33 down to 32 A and B. If you're traveling northbound 91's a little slow as you approach the Aragoni Bridge. Again, some slow traffic. 9 northbound 34 in New Britain up to exit 37, and the 72 interchange westbound 84 is a little slow. Cheshire 26 to exit 25, again 22 to the Mixmaster. If you are heading southbound on 95 New Haven, you've got delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Temperatures continue to run 5 to 10 degrees below the historical average for this part of March. While it will stay cold through tonight, temperatures will begin to moderate starting with tomorrow. For the rest of today, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 38 degrees. Partly to mostly cloudy and cold tonight, low 23. A mix of sun and clouds tomorrow, not as cold, high 46. And mostly cloudy tomorrow night with a few snow flurries in the area, especially late at night, low 31. Mostly cloudy on Friday, breezy and somewhat warmer Friday afternoon with a high of 55. Saturday, cloudy in the morning, a mix of clouds and sun during the afternoon, and a high temperature of 58. Sunday, morning clouds and maybe a shower, lingering cloud cover Sunday afternoon, a high up to 61 degrees. Back to colder weather on Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a gusty breeze, and a high of 44 degrees, and temperatures dropping into the 20s Monday night. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. The legislature's Education Committee has voted down a proposal that would have given the state more oversight over homeschooling. Opponents say the measure was an overreach, but advocates, citing 2 recent high-profile cases in Connecticut, argued that the bill would have held parents and guardians accountable that their children were receiving proper schooling at home. Bridgeport police have released an age progression photo of a little girl who disappeared on her way to school nearly 25 years ago. Bianca LeBron was last seen getting into a van in November of 2001. She said she was going to the mall that day with her uncle, but was never seen again. The newly enhanced photo is posted to our website at WTIC.com. 2 people are under arrest after Hartford police say they were part of a sex trafficking operation involving juveniles. Akeem Harris and Shay Broden were targeted in an investigation first launched by police last September. 3 people were injured in a crash in West Hartford on Tuesday. The vehicle they were in hit a utility pole on New Britain Ave. That section of roadway was closed for several hours. Things got heated at the onset of a confirmation hearing for Senator Mark Wayne Mullen in his bid to be Secretary of Homeland Security. Committee Chair Senator Rand Paul got into it with his fellow Republican over remarks Mullen made about Paul, who sustained serious injuries when he was attacked at his home in Kentucky 9 years ago. And the Federal Reserve has decided to keep interest rates as is. Members say the forecast of high energy prices will likely keep inflation above its 2% threshold. Chairman Jerome Powell, though, did not rule out at least one rate cut for 2026. And on Wall Street, stocks took a bath again today. The Dow down 768 points, the NASDAQ lost 327, and the S&P was down 91 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's reason 17. In today's new world, many law firms have had money injected into their firms by Wall Street, private equity, and other lenders. This money usually comes in at very, very high interest rates. It's one of the reasons you see so many lawyers advertising. I'm John Morgan. This money is expensive and the interest compounds quickly. These law firms can have a huge need for cash just to pay that debt. Why does it matter to you? My fear is your case is settled early and for far less than it's worth, just to service the loan that has mafia-like rates. Our financial strength is your advantage. That plus our reputation makes our firm your firm. Visit forthepeople.com to see our results and verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'm trying to listen to Joe Silva. Joe, if you can hear me, because I know he can. Joe, what did I say, Joe? John Silva. I said Joe. Damn it, John. How can I get his attention? Because I can see him, right? I got to press 16. John, can you hear me? I know he can. I think he can hear me. I believe he can hear me. Well, I need him to, because actually he just reported good news that the homeschooling bill got voted out of committee. It's going nowhere. And I was like, when did that happen? I was just looking it up. It's not printed anywhere, but he just reported on it at the bottom of the hour news. So I will get some details on it. And that's a good thing. That's one down, 3 more to go. Well, 4 more to go. But we'll get into that. So stand by for more details on that. I know there are a lot of families who are very happy about that, and we'll get all the details when we can. I saw some of it this morning when I was getting ready for the show, and I couldn't get a whole bunch of it as they were breaking down some of this craziness. What are you talking about? I was right. Oh, I said, that's right. I said it was going to, no, I said they were going to vote for it. But, yeah, they were going to vote for it, but it got voted down in committee. I'm stunned that it got voted down in committee. I'm very happy. I don't know what happened. I don't know who maybe something must have happened. Because I think, in my view, word really got out that this was going to hurt them politically. But, anyway, we'll figure that out. The stupidest person or stupidest thing.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Stupidest thing I read today, Chinese arcade is slammed for a new claw machine prize. An arcade in Shenzhen has ignited outrage across China's social media after photos revealed live hamsters were crammed inside of a claw machine. You know, like the one that you go to get the stuffed animals out of? Yeah. Forced to dodge the descending metal claw whenever players tried to win them as prizes. The tiny animals huddled in the brightly lit corner, turning what should have been a fun game into an apparent display of animal cruelty. Critics flooded the internet with accusations, demanding the arcade shut down the exhibit and face consequences for keeping the hamsters in constant stress and noise. The viral messages sparked widespread calls for better animal welfare venues. Win a hamster in a claw machine. In other news, I didn't know this back in the day, but thank goodness I have been married 4 times. Guys, when you were single, how many of you bought new sheets and just put them on the bed? Roland, did you ever do that? Not you. You always wash them first. Well, I didn't always do that. I thought they were already clean. They were in a bag. Well, one guy learned the hard way. A guy by the name of Tommy Lynch, who's 42 years old, and he's from Derbyshire, England. He rolled out of bed one morning and realized that his entire body was dyed a vivid blue. And he rushed to the hospital in a panic. Doctors quickly realized the culprit: unwashed dark blue sheets that had transferred the dye straight on to his skin overnight. A simple alcohol wipe on his arm proved that it was just fabric color and not some mysterious illness.
Yikes.
Now, I would have never purchased.
Always wash your stuff.
You gotta
do
it.
New shirts, new drawers, new socks.
As soon as I saw
wash
it
first.
Every time my wife goes, "You're not gonna put those right on, are you?" I go, No, I know. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. He turned violet blue.
I hope you didn't wear that to the baptism recently.
That's right.
Get all the water all discolored. People wouldn't want to get baptized after that. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, 84 eastbound, you've got delays approaching 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 slows approaching the Bulky Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. If you're traveling 91 southbound, a little slow as you move down by exit 19 in Meriden. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound, you'll see some slow traffic from exit 34 up to the 72 interchange on the northbound side of 9. Westbound 84 is tied up in Cheshire 26 to 25 again. 22 up to the Mixmaster. If you are traveling on the southbound side of 95, delays from exit 48 down to exit 43, New Haven into West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly sunny and cold the rest of today. High 38. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight. Remaining cold, a low of 23. The cold will ease up a bit tomorrow. Intervals of clouds and sun, high 46. And back to mostly cloudy weather tomorrow night. Could be a few snow flurries, low 31. Friday, mostly cloudy and breezy, not as cold, high 55. and even a little warmer on Saturday. Morning clouds, then partly sunny in the afternoon with a high of 58. Right now it is 37 in Meriden. It's 36 in Wallingford and 35 degrees in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
How can you grow your business from idea to industry leader? With smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying and insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need. Go to AmazonBusiness.com for support.
Hey, if you're looking for a reliable car that won't break the bank, Mitchell Auto Group has Mitchell Select, an exclusive lineup of affordable pre-owned vehicles, each car carefully inspected with a 150-point check and comes with a 12-month warranty so you can drive with confidence. Sedans, SUVs, whatever it is, Mitchell Select has options for everybody. Go to MitchellAutoGroup.com, browse the inventory today. Mitchell Auto Group, delivering quality and value, and always, people, drive safely.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
Hey, we are back. It's Reese on the Radio, and a correction. That was a miscommunication. Dave Mager was actually at the Capitol for the vote, and the vote did pass committee for the homeschooling bill. In fact, I just got the actual numbers, roughly close. The homeschool bill's final vote tally in Education Committee today was 26-20. Now the bill heads to the full House of Representatives. So it was a vote up. So, yes, it was a yes vote, 26-20. But what I need to understand, and City Hall, if you're listening, which it appears you are, can you tell me what the ratio is in that committee and like what the political breakdown was, Republican versus Democrat, on that, and if there were any Democrats who voted it down? I know there's a sort of a majority there, but I want to know what the exact breakdown of the vote was, which I can't look up now. Or at least I'll try to look it up during the break. I've got phone calls here. I need to get to them. Stand by for that. Music news coming up. Also, tomorrow, let me make sure that I get the gentleman's name right because he will be here tomorrow to explain a bunch of stuff to us. His name is David Haberfeld, and he'll be our guest tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and he is going to break down the whole proposed housing bill that, everyone already knows is passed, but now this removal bill, which in essence, like whether or not the contract that you signed, a lease, is actually binding. And it looks like it won't be. If you are a tenant in good standing and you sign a contract for 12 months, if you wish to renew it and your landlord does not, you can contest that if you are in good standing. I don't know who's going to be the arbiter of good standing, but apparently that will now be litigated in some way. We'll actually have David Haberfeld on the show to talk to him about that tomorrow at 4 o'clock. He'll be our guest. Now, get to the phones. We're talking, if you're just joining us, about a new proposal for another $12 million to go to school lunches and breakfast. Problem is aside from the fact that they're going to make it every kid eligible no matter what their financial status is the question that I've asked, what do you mean there are children who only eat at that time of the day in school? They're not being fed outside of school, they're not being fed at home. People are making that argument. I believe that it's hyperbolic. If they are, as Michael B. has just called and explained in his situation, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. That's not my argument here. My argument is if it's widespread to the point that we have to make food eligible for every kid because it's some systemic issue where kids can't eat during the day or when they're at home, we've got another problem we've got to figure out. It's not going to be solved with school lunches and breakfast. Why not deal with that? So we're taking your phone calls on it. All right? And I guess everybody wants to opine, so I appreciate it. Let's go to Gary. He's calling from Southington. How are you, Gary?
Good. Hey, before I weigh in on that, I want to say you gave me the wrong information.
I said that I did. I totally said that. I was told
No. I'm talking about something else.
Oh, what was the wrong information?
You told me your meeting was at 8:30, so I went over to School Street at 8:30 to go to the meeting. It was 8 a.m. I went to 8:30 a.m.
Oh, well, it's 8:30 p.m., and I apologize for that because I was looking for you, and I was there.
But guess what? I ended up meeting the people from Agape.
Okay.
And I'm now volunteering.
Okay. Well, then, you know what? No, there's no such thing as a mistake in that regard. That's good.
Hey,
I'm glad you got to meet them.
I got the solution, the perfect solution that, they, like you said, they want to do this thing where Lamont wants to feed all the kids.
Yeah.
Well, I'm nominating a guy who's going to oversee all of this. So all the money goes into the right place.
Yes.
It's going to be Tim Waltz.
No. He's done enough already. Absolutely not. No, I appreciate you trying to look for somebody, but we're going to need you to expand your Rolodex there, Gary, okay?
I'll work on it.
I appreciate you. Thank you, buddy. Let me get to who's up next. Jeff is in Marlboro. How are you, Jeff?
Hey, I'm doing okay, Reese. How you doing?
I'm all right. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, long time no talk.
I know.
So on the food thing, I think food is really important, and I feel sorry for kids who can't have food at home, and I know that really happens. And I was just I used to work at a grocery store, and I got caught drinking an orange juice that went out of date. They used to press their own orange juice, and they were going to throw them in the trash. So I was drinking it, and I got caught drinking that. And then I said, well, it's still good. It could go somewhere else. I wonder how much food is wasted that way.
It is so true. In fact, there was I remember this, and they actually had to change the policy because thankfully there was a news report about it. It was one of those 7 on your side news reports. They went down to the restaurant and found out by one of its employees that they had all of this food that they were dumping out, even though it was fresh or good, that a food pantry, because this individual was actually taking food that they were about to throw out and grabbing it up and taking it down to the food pantry. Well, this company found out about it. He fired him. He called 7 on your side. They found out. Sure enough, it changed policy, but not just for that restaurant. All of the supermarkets in the neighborhood then joined in, which, again, that's what I'm saying. If the school lunch is if this food is good enough for the kids, why isn't it good enough for the needy? I mean, that's the whole purpose, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the whole, sell by end date, it's sort of, what do you call it? I don't know what the right word is.
Okay.
But anyways, it doesn't die that day. It doesn't make you sick.
Oh, yeah. Right. Exactly.
And a lot of people can use it, and it just goes to waste. I wonder how many millions of pounds of food go in the trash every day in this country.
And that, that's another point that you're bringing up, Jeff. Think about that, right? It's like not connecting the dots is also sort of emblematic of government. How do you not realize that part of the reason why we don't have people that are fed is because we don't make the opportunities for them to be fed? And one of the ways would be mitigating the waste of the food of the kids who don't eat that stuff and making it available for people who do need it.
Yeah, and it's that stuff doesn't go out of date that day. It's not like you're going to die, and it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine for me. I would feed it to my children. You know, I would. There's no problem with it, and I think that's just a real problem. We waste so much in this country.
Wouldn't it be? You know what I was just thinking of? Try this on for size. Here's how you could blend charity and even sort of goodwill. You could teach your kids this. If not, like in high schools, this would be a great way, because you probably have more waste in high school than you would in grade schools. So imagine the amount of charity that you could bestow on a community, and you can get kids involved with said charity if after school you had volunteers from the high school go near the cafeteria, which is usually near the backyard. They usually put a cafeteria near the backyard, and you had the homeless community or people who are in dire need come in a line and come in and pick up the food that they were otherwise going to waste.
Yeah.
And give kids college or high school credits for doing it. And then, I mean, you're killing so many birds with one stone that way.
Yeah, and it just works, and it feeds people. I mean, even I don't know if I should mention the grocery store, but they give free fruit to children. There's apples, oranges, and bananas. And
you can mention them if they're doing something good.
Okay, so it's Big Y.
Okay. All right, we love them. They've got between rounds at Big Y. Hell yeah, if they're doing that, God bless them.
Yeah, but I think the only reason they're doing it is because they're slightly bruised or whatever.
That's fine.
Nobody will buy them, but the kids will eat them.
Yeah, exactly. Don't waste anything. We've got enough hungry people out here. We shouldn't waste them. It's a good idea.
Yeah, it just bothers me. We waste a lot of food in this country, and there's so many people if you need it. And there really are. When I went to school, there wasn't that many hungry children that lived where I worked. Where I went to school, but
we do now. Obviously, we apparently. I mean, if I'm to listen to these people, we've got a hell of a lot of kids who aren't eating.
That's what I'm saying. I'm feeling that it's a bigger problem nowadays, and you could help it by just giving them some of that food that's. Oh, is it one day out of date? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much, man.
Hey, you too.
Thank you. Let's go to Morgan in Harwington. I always have a horrible time pronouncing that town. Hello, Morgan. How are you?
Doing great. How about yourself, Reese?
I'm all right, sir. What do you got?
So, most of the frozen stuff nowadays, like waffles and things, are already partially cooked or fully cooked and reheated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if most cafeterias probably could go about that process where they would freeze whatever they have and then they can make use out of it at a different time.
Correct.
Or, pass it down the road. Do you mind if I bring up two separate things just to put on your radar?
Okay. What is it? Other stories that you want me to pay attention to?
Yeah, I know you don't drink alcohol anymore, but there's a 5-cent fee on nipper bottles or airplane bottles that are supposed to be charged by the distributor and then goes back to the towns by payment, but I've never seen or heard of anything being used by that, especially in areas like Hartford where a lot of kickback would be done for that process of where is that money going or where are they using that money that they get back from it. Even if you still walk around, you still see these bottles everywhere.
I was just, you know what, Morgan, as you were talking about it, so Roseanne and I were going, can't remember where it was, but I know we parked our car someplace and we had to walk like maybe a block. It was some event, but we had to park in a parking lot and then walk to the restaurant we were going to. And we were looking around and Roseanne looks down and she goes, wow, they aren't kidding about these little nips. Because she had listened to you guys talk about it on the program. And I looked down and I went, I was stunned. I was like, this was the first time I'd ever seen how many they were everywhere. And she goes, she goes, I think, what does she say? She says that people should, I forget how she phrased it, But whatever the case was, she was saying that obviously more and more people were doing the nips than they were doing the actual bottles of alcohol, primarily because we've had a slowdown with people who are drinking, and now people just drink to be buzzed. So that's why we're seeing sort of this onslaught of these little minis or these nips. I don't know, Morgan. Tell me if you're with this or not. Should we just get rid of them?
So the theory was that they get rid of them. So they did the fee to offset getting rid of them.
Right.
Because I know Massachusetts then got rid of them, but then they moved to double the size, which is 100 milliliters instead of 50 milliliters, and then they sell those now instead of the 50 milliliters.
Right.
I mean, I'd be all for getting rid of it, but it's just more the process when they started this, 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
That it was supposed to go to either an organization or a fund where people would do neighborhood cleanup and things like that.
Right.
To, keep the areas clean, especially where there's high traffic or high volume in sales.
It is not working because when Roseanne pointed it out, now I see them everywhere. Like they weren't in my view at all. And now I can't stop seeing them. It's like when you buy a car, all of a sudden you start seeing everybody's got your car. It's weird. Now that it's been brought to my attention, now I see the bottles everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see them in like grocery store parking lots and stuff like that. But it's just very much like, I know you talk to, political people where if you talk to Mayor of Hartford, like, hey, where is this, bring it up like, side conversation.
Absolutely.
Like, where is this revenue coming from? Because it does add up that they are getting, technically thousands of dollars that, could go somewhere to help something out at the same time.
Real quick, what was the other thing you wanted to bring to my attention?
Just real random. It's a national story about the mother that got stabbed to death at the bus stop, about the gentleman who was arrested 30 times. Why wouldn't there, like a family lawyer, attempt to sue the judge that released this individual back to the streets and the I guess the DA?
Are you talking about the young woman who came to the country from Ukraine and was stabbed on the light rail in Charlotte?
No, about a week ago.
Oh, this is a new one.
40-something-year-old woman. She was waiting at the bus stop, and a gentleman who was, I don't know the word.
Reoffender.
Right at the bus stop. Yeah. And they said he was arrested and charged for about 30 different times. And so it's always one of the things. It's like, well, who put him back out on the street? And what if parents are liable for their children?
True. And
whoever put them back out on the street, why wouldn't they be liable when he should have been?
It's a great point.
He's doing.
If Ben Crump can come to Hartford to sue the city for Stevie Jones, I think that the same thing should happen for somebody like that woman, or anybody for that matter, who's stabbed by someone that the system let out of jail. You're 100% right about that. This is a great point. Let me go look at this. I was going to say, let me go look at the story, and I'll definitely look it up.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Thanks,
all right, thanks, buddy. Let's get a check of our weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's back. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. If you're westbound 84, look for delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 44 Prospect Oakwood. 84 eastbound slows about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B. If you're traveling into Middletown, 9 northbound's a little slow at the Aragoni Bridge. If you're traveling on the westbound side of 84 Plainville into Southington, a little tight 33 to 32 Queen Street. Westbound 84 is running slow in Cheshire from 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Southbound Parkway delays approaching 15 into the West Rock, and 95 southbound heavy New Haven, 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by NJM Insurance Group.
If you dread dealing with your insurance more than getting stuck in an elevator with an overshare,
bean burrito for lunch.
you have Insuranoia. You should have NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
WTIC weather.
Temperatures continue to run 5 to 10 degrees below the historical average for this part of March. While it will stay cold through tonight, temperatures will begin to moderate starting with tomorrow. For the rest of today, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 38 degrees. Partly to mostly cloudy and cold tonight, low 23. A mix of sun and clouds tomorrow, not as cold, high 46. And mostly cloudy tomorrow night with a few snow flurries in the area, especially late at night, low 31. Mostly cloudy on Friday, breezy and somewhat warmer Friday afternoon with a high of 55. Saturday, cloudy in the morning, a mix of clouds and sun. during the afternoon and a high temperature of 58. Sunday, morning clouds and maybe a shower. Lingering cloud cover Sunday afternoon, a high up to 61 degrees. Back to colder weather on Monday. Intervals of clouds and sunshine with a gusty breeze and a high of 44 degrees and temperatures dropping into the 20s Monday night. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. And we have a correction from our report last hour on a 26-20 vote. State lawmakers on the legislature's Education Committee did approve that controversial bill that would increase oversight of homeschooling. Committee co-chair, the Democratic State Representative Jennifer Leeper, explained the state currently has no way of making sure homeschooling families are providing an equivalent education.
And so we are now trying to add just a modicum of expectation and accountability for these children also, because right now they are actually the only children in our state, and our state is quite an outlier in this way where there is nothing.
Republican State Senator Heather Summers explained the opposition.
It really replaces the presumption of parental competence with mandatory reporting, annual filings, academic demonstrations, district review, and DCF screening perhaps upon withdrawal.
Bill supporters say in some cases children listed as homeschooled go uneducated and sometimes abused. Opponents say requirements that the Education Department and DCF be made aware when a child is pulled from school paint all homeschooling families as bad actors. Again, the measure did pass the Education Committee on a 26-20 vote this afternoon. Bridgeport police have released a new age-progressed photo in a 2001 missing persons case. Bianca LeBron was 9 years old when she disappeared on her way to school. Police say they have a strong lead in the case as well as persons of interest. Detective Laura Acevedo is the current lead investigator in the case.
This may be that Bianca could be a victim of a homicide, or she could be a missing person who may still be alive, or abducted and may still be alive.
At one point, police went to Puerto Rico to do DNA testing on someone they thought could have been LeBron. They recently investigated a home that may have been involved in the case. A $62,000 reward is available for information in the case. GOP Senator Rand Paul says he'll be a no vote for his colleague from Oklahoma, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, as Homeland Security Secretary. Mullen appeared before the Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee for a confirmation hearing. Paul chairs that committee. At the start, Paul confronted Mullen for comments the latter made after Paul was assaulted and injured in his Kentucky home in 2017. Paul was asked if an apology from Mullen could sway his vote.
He was given a chance, and I doubt any sincerity that you come back and add up the votes and you don't have enough vote. So I can't imagine that he would. And he's actually very proud of endorsing the violence against me. So I don't think he's in any way. I mean, he's the guy, men will settle their differences by you punch him in the mouth. That is his quote. And he doesn't reject any of that. He doesn't say he wants to change. He doesn't say it was in the heat of battle. This is who he is.
Paul was on Fox News, concedes Mullen will likely be confirmed. Hartford school superintendent says the district is in dire financial straits.
We're in a $70 million deficit. If I close every last school, that is not the answer. We have a structural deficit, and it's been known for years. It's not the first time that's been said. My prayer is that it fall on the right ears and the right actions take place for Hartford Public Schools.
Dr. Andre Tonsel says in the last decade they've cut $200 million in 600 positions. He says he's hoping the district will be able to tap into a fund balance totaling $74 million, $48 million of which is unassigned. The superintendent says they're putting together a long-term plan, but must first get through the coming 2027 fiscal year. Some disturbing allegations have been made against a late civil rights leader.
Labor rights leader Dolores Huerta says she stayed silent for 60 years about the alleged sexual abuse by Cesar Chavez for fear it would hurt the farm worker movement. Huerta says she did not know that Chavez hurt other women and condemned his actions, but says she wasn't going to let him or anyone else get in the way of securing farm worker rights.
Correspondent Allison Keys, and March Madness is upon us, believe it or not. For the next several weeks, billions of dollars will be wagered on games in the NCAA basketball tournaments. But what should be a fun time can turn into a nightmare for some who can't control their gambling habits. Diana Good is executive director of the Connecticut Council on Problem Gambling. She says the proliferation of sports books makes placing bets easier.
And certainly with FanDuel, DraftKings, Fanatics, gambling has become incredibly easy. So we just want to make sure if people want to gamble on the games, that's great. If they gamble and run into trouble, we want to make sure that people know there's help available in Connecticut.
Good says those placing bets should set a limit, and if anyone thinks they may have a problem, there are resources available to get help at ccpg.org or at 888-789-7777. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Middlesex Health welcomes the Connecticut Golf Show March 27th through 29th at the Connecticut Convention Center. Get front door bonus golf, free tailor-made balls, and more while they last. Tested by big brands with Chris Cody's Golf Shops and watch college hoops on our 19th hole. Tickets at ctgolfshow.com.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brian Shackman here for CertaPro Painters. I don't know about you, but a fresh coat of paint makes me feel good. That's why you might want to get in touch with the folks at CertaPro Painters. And now is a good time. Ask about their spring sales event. That's 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th, and they can do inside, they can do outside. They did our kitchen. Man, they were timely, they were clean, and they were so respectful to everybody in our family. CertaPro Painters, by the way, independently owned and operated right here in our community. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. Again, that's Certa with a C.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
News. In music news today, actually, 2 of the 3 people celebrating their birthday are people that I care about. So I'll do the one that I least care about. Adam Levine of Maroon 5 turns 47 years old. Yeah. You like Maroon 5? Maroon 5 is what I tell people what NSYNC would sound like if they played instruments. Not a bad analogy? Yeah, why not? Also, R&B singer and still looks fantastic at 63, Vanessa Williams, former Miss USA, right? Beautiful Vanessa Williams turned 63 today. And hip-hopper, you don't stop her, Queen Latifah turns 56 today. Former talk show host as well. She is, just a year younger than me. In some mainstream anniversary news. 10 years ago, Gwen Stefani's This Is What the Truth Feels Like, her first solo album in a decade. 29 years ago, Ben Folds Five's Whatever and Ever Amen, 1997. Their breakthrough hit was Brick out of that platinum album. 29 years ago, Aerosmith's 9 Lives debuted at number 1 in 1997 and cracked the Billboard 200, featuring hits like Falling in Love, Is Hard on the Knees, and Pink. 30 years ago, do you remember the Beatles Anthology 2? Goodness gracious, radio would not stop playing the anthology of the Beatles in 1996. It was everywhere. It was the second volume of the rarities, outtakes, and other tracks. The Bee Gees' Night Fever began an 8-week run at number 1 on the Hot 100s. That's by the Bee Gees. And Neil Young's Heart of Gold with James Taylor and Linda Ronstadt on backing tracks hit number 1 on the U.S. Hot 100 54 years ago in 1972. Mark Christopher, he is in your BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Mark?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're westbound 84 delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45, Flatbush 84 eastbound, just a little slow, 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. No problems, 91 southbound, just a little slow down by 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. If you're heading westbound 84 Plainville into Southington, a little tight traffic 33 up to 32 Queen Street. Westbound 84 in Cheshire slowing 26 to 25, again at the Mixmaster. If you are southbound on the Parkway, look for slow slow traffic now from exit 51 down into the West Rock Tunnel. Southbound 91 delays from exit 4 into the 95 interchange, and 95 southbound heavy 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Increasing cloudiness and cold today, low 23. Tomorrow, clouds, some sun. Not as cold as recent days, high 46. Mostly cloudy tomorrow night. Could be a few late night snow flurries, low 31. Friday, mostly cloudy, becoming breezy. Not as cold, warming up to a high of 55. Right now it is 37 Middletown, it's 36 in Bristol, and also 36 degrees in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune into the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's take a step back in time to an era when things were built right, built to last, and a handshake meant something. Yankee Home delivers that same craftsmanship still today. If your bathroom has moldy corners, dingy grout lines, broken tiles, and rust stains, it's time to call Yankee Home. You can have a brand new, bright, beautiful bathroom in as little as 1 day. From design to demo, plumbing to final product, our team will transform your bath fast. Every job is done right the first time. Never cattywampus. Take advantage of our winter special with 50% off installation plus 0 down and 0% interest. Call Yankee Home at 1-800-885-HOME. That's 1-800-885-HOME. Or visit yankeehome.com. That's yankeehome.com.
Yankee Home makes it easy as can be with our never cattywampus lifetime guarantee. Yankee Home.
On approved credit, restrictions apply.
Larry Older here. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama, my mom's home state. He tells us after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain has started to limit me at work and at home, and now I'm amazed at how much relief I've gotten, end of quote. These are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do for you. I've told you about my buddy Tom, an avid golfer out on the green almost every single day. He says without Relief Factor, he wouldn't be able to swing freely because of shoulder pain or back pain. But since taking it, he said he stayed active, comfortable, and confident in his swing. He is a scratch golfer. That's why I encourage you to try Relief Factor yourself and see what it can do for you. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF, or go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, ReliefFactor.com.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Phones we go in a second, but stand by. I've got so many people who are sending me messages anywhere and everywhere. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, and they all are wishing to opine about the subject we were talking about, and it was the Universal Free Food Program proposed by Governor Ned Lamont. The objective is to make free food available, breakfast and lunch, to every student, no matter what their economic status is, because, as many of these advocates say, who are pushing for it, that some of these kids, it is the only meal that they get at all. Okay. I've got some questions. So I've been asking, and people have been either educating me, correcting me, or just opining their opinion about all of this. And I want to get to their statements in a second. Salvatore says, what is the point of WIC and SNAP if we have to pay for them to eat in school too? Great point, Salvatore. I wish to know that as well. Paul says the biggest, most waste of food in hospitals and adult care facilities, he says, is the most burdensome waste of food. Let me see if Christina actually posted something here. Nope. Okay, that was her just saying something nice to me. Thank you. I appreciate that, Christine. Let me see. What else do we have here? I have a great idea, Zach says. They should be forced to get a tattoo on their forehead with the bills they are introduced and failed. I don't think that's right. They should not do that. Fritz the Cat says that Connecticut is full of waste, and all King Ned cares about is bragging the funds are there to feed all the kids. The contractor supplying the food is a cash cow. The union workers paid to make junk lunch. Great point. When I was in school, there was a food line. They asked you what you wanted on your tray. You never had to take the food you weren't going to eat, Carmela says. That's a good point. A lot of people agree with that. And again, why this is something that you can do because it's charitable. Everybody takes plays a role. You can ask kids to volunteer. I don't know. You can add it to their grade. It's extracurricular. They're helping the hungry. Look, listen, I'm going to say this a little tongue-in-cheek, but kind of serious. What's the one thing they are trying to breed in every one of the kids in public education? And that is to be more socialist, right? They want the kids to embrace bread lines. I mean, even Bernie Sanders says that he went to Moscow. They had bread lines. I loved it. You should see those people. Bread lines all around the corner in Russia. It was beautiful. My wife, we vacation there all the time. It's lovely to see the poor, especially in June. Anyway. But this would be some of that, right? To feed the homeless, have them line up, get the word out. Hey, kids, after school, for extra credit, help us feed the hungry, right? Those kids are taught to care about those less fortunate. Little bit of, put your money where your mouth is, get some skin in the game. I'm just saying, it is a way. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe. 860-522-WTIC. Dave is in Brantford. Hello, Dave.
That's me, Reese. I got 3 points. I'll try to go quick.
Yes, sir.
I think when Lamont first got in, and this was an early idea of his, he was trying to fight stigma in school for the people in the food line.
Yeah.
And I saw a story once, and it had a Rod Serling Twilight Zone kind of an ending. The upshot was it was in a high-poverty district in school, and the kids that were getting picked on were the ones who weren't on a SNAP or WIC program. They were paying. They peeled money out of their pocket and paid.
Those were the kids getting teased?
The other kids were picking on them for having parents who were so stupid. They didn't know how to get on the free gravy train.
Wow.
And I thought that was a bizarre twist of stigma. The other couple of points I'd like to make is I think the fact that you're feeding all the kids breakfast, sometimes these liberals, they work at cross purposes. Mm-hmm. On one day, they'll tell you that the brains of the adolescents don't function in the morning, and we need to start school even later so they can, be effective. But yet, if we're going to feed them breakfast, they're going to have to get to school an hour before they do even now.
That's right.
And how does that work? I don't want professional teachers wasting time, watching them. And so the school will have my kids my kids are too old now. They're out of school. But for 2 out of 3 meals of the day, they're getting state food. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And the third point was preparing your own breakfast, certainly by high school age, is part of preparation for life.
Boom!
We're breeding essentially pigeons in the park. If nobody throws them breadcrumbs, they starve to death because they're too stupid to know the basics of waking up, making breakfast, and getting to the bus on time.
What a great line. That is brilliant, Dave. We are breeding pigeons in the park. Talk about painting the perfect picture. Thank you for leaving that last. Absolutely brilliant, sir. Thank you so much. You got it. Next up is Tony. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, buddy.
What's up?
Hey, just quick, 3 quick points, dude. Back to what you said earlier. How about explaining to us why DCF isn't being held accountable for Saturday and Sunday when these kids aren't supposedly eating?
How did we forget that?
Let's talk about that.
That's right. Because there's no school on the weekend.
Right?
These kids are coming in on Monday.
48 hours without any food.
What do those kids on Monday look like?
And in the summertime when
That's right.
school's out.
That's right.
So I'm going to throw that at you, but a couple other quick things, like the other guy said with the nipper bottles all over the place.
Yeah.
You know what I see? The flossing sticks all over the ground, right?
Guilty. Totally guilty for that.
There you go. Oh, you're one of them?
I've done it once or twice. You're 100% right. They'll fall out of my pocket.
Okay.
I've done it before. It's fallen out of my pocket.
Okay, and then I want to tell you, since you were talking about musicians too, my favorite DJ of all time, who I think you could relate to, is DJ Cool Red Alert.
Well, I grew up with Red Alert. I worked with Red Alert, and he is still the nicest guy I've ever met in hip-hop, with the exception of Cool Herc.
I listen to him on Twitch. Yeah, he's on Yacht Rock Radio, and he does his own show on Twitch.
Okay.
Every day at 2 o'clock, so that's great. I love him. I think he's the world's greatest DJ.
He is, absolutely. He is hip-hop lore without a doubt, man, there in the beginning. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you, buddy.
You got it, buddy.
You got it. Next up, let's go to Brian. Brian is on the line. How are you doing, Brian?
Hi, good afternoon, Reese.
What's up, sir?
Oh, buddy boy. I've been on board with you since you started with WTIC, and you won me over quick.
Thank you, sir. That very gracious
What a
of
pleasure.
you.
I listen to you every day. My only regret today is I'm missing Roseanne.
Oh, well, hopefully she's getting better. I'll find out when I get home, but she was very sick yesterday.
I'm a retired Army guy.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'd love to talk to her, but more to the point,
yes, sir.
The conversation about school lunches,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you kind of got to go, yeah, I'll go with that. What I haven't heard is the financials. Did you realize earlier in the discussion, somebody came up with $800 a year?
Yes, it says the annual cost of school and breakfast can exceed $800 per child.
Well, you got 180 school days. That's $5 a kid.
Wow. Yeah, that's absolutely right.
But here's the point nobody's bringing up.
Okay.
And I don't know that it's still so. But back in my day, everything came from the Department of Agriculture. They buy up tons and tons of stuff.
That's right. No separate contractors, no separate farms. It was directly
Exactly. I remember when I was in high school, occasionally they would come into study hall and take a couple of the older kids, and we'd have to unload the truck, and all the boxes said USDA. Butter, cheese, I can't speak to the meat, but milk, all of that stuff came in on a grant.
You know what? I'm going to go do this. Brian, I am going to look into where that switched off. And it's quite possible that because of wherever the municipality is in conjunction with a farm that's sort of government owned or government related, so to speak, that may have been where the switch off was. But you know what? Now I have to look into that now, because that's a very good point. Because if it's going arbitrarily to different farms, I'm sure the cost is different in every place.
Yeah, that's it. Is everybody getting the same deal?
Exactly.
And I would think probably not.
Probably not, yes, because, again, you're dealing with a local budget. And if there is a sort of no-bid contract, which unfortunately that happens in government, you wonder how much is being spent versus how much is being used. You know what I mean?
But if all this food is surplus and they are distributing like that, it's a good deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, this junk sits in a warehouse and rots.
Indeed. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, Reese. I enjoy you. Thank you, buddy.
My pleasure. Elena is calling from Newington. Nope, I'm sorry. That's Rob. I apologize. Rob, how are you?
Hey, how are you, my friend?
What's up, buddy?
First of all, let me say this before I get murdered. I am a Republican, and I'm going to call you and tell you why school breakfast and school lunch is important.
Okay.
And I will tell you that a town that you like to pick on, Meriden, I've been on the Board of Ed for 35 years. So,
do I pick on Meriden? I thought I liked Meriden. I said it's very beautiful out there.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I don't feel the love.
Well, I'll do better. But anyway, go ahead. So you're on the school board.
So listen, I am, and let me just say this. So first, we have universal free breakfast and lunch in Meriden. When a meal goes out, so the kids in the morning, they do what they call grab and serve.
Okay.
So the kids come in, they can grab for that breakfast. They're not sitting down where they're getting in line. You're getting in line for a muffin. You're getting in line for a fruit. You're getting in line for granola bars, a a mozzarella stick, something along that line.
Okay.
You're not getting or you might get a bagel or something, but it's packaged, it's frozen. And for lunches, the kids are coming through for your lunches, and a lot of food does go in the garbage. And the reason why is the federal guidelines for nutrition require that there has to be those 4 items on the tray. So even if the kid doesn't want to eat that piece of meal, or whether it be the piece of bread,
right, be the protein, the bread, or the milk, right, right.
It's got to go there. Those kids dump it in the garbage, and the federal guidelines say it's got to be on the tray or you don't get reimbursed.
Oh.
So, and so here's the deal. So a lot of communities, I mean, and Meriden is one. Since we do universal free breakfast and lunch, it's actually a money-making
operation,
profit center for us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we get sometimes, I would say, almost 1.5 times the cost of a meal.
Of course.
And the meal isn't $5. The meal's $2 and change.
Damn.
So, yeah. So the days of when I went to school back in the 80s, we went through line and we had, there was mashed potatoes, gravy, there was corn. It was a decent meal.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone.
Yeah, I know.
Unless you're going to private school.
Yeah.
And we used to have in line. We could get in line for the ice cream and the cookies and the Cinnabons that they would make. Those lines don't exist anymore. So during the early 90s into the 2000s, early 2000s, the federal guidelines changed so much that really restricted local boards of education from serving the meals that they served, which were typically higher in carbs. You got more protein, but they wanted everything to be high fiber, low sugar, and I'll call it. It's sometimes I'd look at a meal. Even today, I look at a meal and go, oh, you know what? That's interesting.
Well, Bob, I got to let you go. Listen, Rob, I have to let you go.
Yeah.
But thank you for so much of that information, because again, it really, really goes to the heart of where this problem is. In essence, you guys, when you were doing things that most people would say is acceptable as far as food and nutrition for your children, in essence, you guys got hogtied by the federal government and had to follow their guidelines, which again, the 100%. Unmitigated gall of federal government always makes things worse.
Always, my friend. Hey, and thanks. I always like listening to the opposing views sometimes, and I appreciate your candor.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great day.
Thank you, man. You too. You got it. Okay, well, all of you who are online, Elena, stand by. I promise I will get to you in due course in the next break, even if it's before we do the traffic and weather. So stand by for that. Rudy's on the line as well. And then we'll read some more comments here in the chat room. Speaking of eating, I'm going to have that last bagel that's sitting in there. It's an onion bagel. No, you didn't. It's right here. I took it. You didn't get it. I'm already starving. I had a sandwich, and it was just like a wrap. Yeah, I know. I haven't even had a lot of bread in weeks. And I've lost 6 pounds. Give it up for that, man. Give it up. Mark Christopher. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. I can't wait until I lose the same amount of pounds as your age, 62. I'm going to lose 62 pounds.
What's the goal, though? What's the real goal?
Really? 25 pounds.
Okay, that's
I've got
good.
6 in.
Yeah,
So.
I'd like to lose 30.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I got my A1C checked yesterday.
Oh, did you?
It is not pretty.
Really? Is there a foot losing?
Yeah,
is there a
probably.
Foot going?
They're gonna saw one off.
That's what Roseanne's
change my ways. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That could happen if I don't watch
Roseanne
out.
says that to me all the time. I don't want you to lose a foot.
Yeah. God, my habits are so bad.
Yeah.
Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, this traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. And if you're on the westbound side of 84, you got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush, 84 eastbound slowing, 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge, 91 southbound delays, 33 to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. Another bump down by 23 in Rocky Hill, and you'll slow a little bit again as you move down by exit 19 in Meriden. Now, if you are traveling into Middletown, 9 southbound's a little slow at the Aragoni Bridge. We're seeing some slow traffic 84 westbound from 35 up toward exit 33 as you move New Britain into Southington. Westbound 84 is a little tight by exit 25 and again at the Mixmaster in Waterbury. And look out for an accident on the southbound side of 91 in New Haven between exit 6 and 4. The left lane is out there. Look for delays pushing back toward exit 8 behind that. Traffic moves slow, but your transformation shouldn't. Columbia Implant Center provides full dental implants in just one visit. Open 7 days a week in Manchester to fit your busy life. Get your smile back today at ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Getting cold the rest of this afternoon. Intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 38. Partly to mostly cloudy. Cold tonight, low 23. Tomorrow, blend of sun and clouds, and not as cold as recent days, high 46. Mostly cloudy tomorrow night. Could be a few snow flurries in the area, especially late at night, low 31. Mostly cloudy on Friday. Breezy and warmer Friday afternoon, high 55. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
25 degrees at 5:30. I'm John Silva. Police have released an age progression photo of a girl who went missing nearly a quarter century ago in Bridgeport. Bianca LeBron disappeared on her way to school in November of 2001. She told friends she was going to the mall with her uncle, got in a van, and was never seen again. The photo of Bianca, who'd be 34, is posted to our website at WTIC.com, and Bridgeport Police want to hear from anyone who may have information on her whereabouts all these years later. A couple of high-profile bills have passed legislative committees. The Education Committee passed a measure increasing oversight of homeschooling, and lawmakers have also advanced a bill that would allow the state to set its own vaccine mandates. The latter bill flies in the face of federal health officials cutting vaccine recommendations for children. A federal judge temporarily blocked that move earlier this week. At a meeting last night, Hartford's school superintendent spelled out a dire financial situation. Dr. Andre Townsend says they're staring down the barrel of a $70 million deficit, says they hope they might be able to tap into the city's fund balance for some assistance. Crash investigation continues in West Hartford. Police there say 3 people were injured last night. 4 adults were in a vehicle that hit a pole on New Britain Avenue. The road was closed for several hours in the area of New Park and South Street for that investigation. Federal Reserve officials expect the Iran war will worsen inflation this year, while having little impact on growth, but they still expect to cut their key rate once in 2026. For now, Fed policymakers left short-term interest rates unchanged for their second straight meeting. Mark Wayne Mullin says he'll be a steady hand at the Department of Homeland Security if confirmed as secretary. Facing some pushback, though, from fellow senators at a hearing today as the DHS tries to move on from Kristi Noem. On Wall Street, the Dow lost 768 points today. The Nasdaq gave back 327, and the S&P was down 91. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Paid for by government. The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. They will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. You can own a full pound of original U.S. silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again. Guaranteed. Call now to secure original United States Silver Eagles by the pound. The first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-560-6468 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-560-6468.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
We're back. Reese on the radio here. Make sure you always go to reeseontheradio.com, WTIC.com, or as the big voice said, download the Odyssey app so you can check out the stuff that you've missed already. Today, we will have something on reeseontheradio.com. Always go to reeseontheradio.com. Send a message about the show or one of the topics we are discussing today. Let me get Elena on here real quick. I promised her I would get her in here. Hello, Elena. Thanks for calling.
Hello, Reese.
How are you?
So I'm great. How are you?
I'm all right.
Wonderful. So I have a simple question for you, Reese.
Yes, ma'am.
So here we go. If all of these kids are going hungry, then why are something like 40% of our kids overweight or obese?
Great question. Great question. Now, there is another question about this, and I think that the WIC and the food stamp issue is another thing. That's a very, very important point. And I think, and I'm like you, Elena, I am not suggesting that there aren't kids who aren't eating and only get the meal that is from school. I just don't think there's an abundance of these kids. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with me that there's sort of an over, sort of, what's the word, an exaggeration of the amount of kids who are not eating food at home?
I tend to agree with you.
I just, again, I don't get it. And another thing is, if we're looking at starvation, how is that not a neglect issue?
Mm-hmm.
That's again, I'm so stunned by these numbers. But again, at these press conferences, I just feel like they're just allowed to say whatever they want. And then they go, any questions? And everybody goes, nope, we'll go home now. And I'm like, what is going on that no one has a follow-up to this stuff? You said that there are kids who are only eating at school. What are they doing the rest of the year?
Right.
And as that gentleman said earlier, what about those kids on the weekend? There is no school on the weekend.
Oh, right. True.
So I don't know. But I think the obesity thing is a very good question. I would have loved to see the obesity rates here in Connecticut, because then I would ask, where are those kids who have the high obesity? Usually they are in low-income households, because there are nutrition problems within those communities. Why? Because they tend to eat fast food. They eat out at the local Chinese restaurant or the bodega, whatever the case may be. I think Roland just said behind the scenes, he said, the kids are eating snack foods like Takis and foods like that. So this sort of idea that these kids aren't eating, maybe the problem is, and they don't want to address, is what they're eating.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting. Do you have any grade school kids anymore?
I do not.
Okay. I just couldn't imagine. Thank you, Elena. I really appreciate the call, and thanks for holding for me.
Okay.
Thanks. Let's get another check of weather and traffic before we get out of here. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're westbound 84, look for delays. Bulkley Bridge in Hartford out to 47. Sigourney Street, eastbound 84, some slow traffic. 46 Island Avenue into the tunnel. 91 southbound slowing at 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. You'll see a little slow traffic again approaching 19 in Meriden. If you are traveling on the westbound side of 84, look out for some slow traffic. 35 in New Britain out to just about exit 32 in Southington. If you're traveling into New Haven right now, we had an accident southbound 91 between 6 and 4. Looks like that's out of there now. Look for delays 8 down to exit 4 in New Haven, and 95 southbound delays from 48 in New Haven down to exit 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Increasing cloudiness and cold tonight, a low of 23. Clouds, occasional sun tomorrow. Not as cold tomorrow afternoon, a high up to 46. Then mostly cloudy tomorrow night. Could be a few snow flurries, low 31. Friday, mostly cloudy and breezy, a high of 55. Could be some showers in the area Friday night. Saturday, cloudy to start, then partly sunny in the afternoon, with a high of 58. Right now, it is 37 in New Britain. It's 36 in East Hartford, and also 36 degrees in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Even if you've given up on your New Year's resolution, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver. From New Nordic, Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon or in stores at CVS, Wegmans, and now GNC.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Before we get out of here, let me just make mention on tomorrow's program. I want to talk about this story with the juveniles. There is a proposal to keep juveniles out of juvenile prisons and facilities for what they call low-level crimes. The list of what are low-level crimes are considerable. So we'll weigh that out as well. Also, tomorrow we'll talk about this story I read about a week ago about the number of Generation Z employees that are being fired first when companies are downsizing. So it's called Firing Gen Z. I want to talk about that in some of the reasons why Gen Z is being fired. It's an interesting story. What is this that I didn't get to? Oh, and tomorrow, yes, let me get to that. I want to make sure that I have, sorry, get his name here. because I'm just learning it now. David Haberfeld will be here at 4 o'clock tomorrow to talk about Connecticut's no-fault eviction ban proposal. Out of, Lamont is backing it. He didn't write the proposal, but he's backing it. So we'll talk to David Haberfeld about that tomorrow at 4 o'clock so that you understand that. If you own property in the state and you want to get an understanding of what you rent property in the state, you may want to understand this a little further. So David's going to help us sort of root or understand that whole deal in our conversation tomorrow. Now, before we get up out of here, let's grab some of the phones. Rudy in Florida is up next. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I'm on fire. I found my inner Brian Shackman, so I'm hoping.
Okay.
But hey, first to go back to that food thing.
Yeah.
That guy before the break, he was from Newington, but he was on the Board of Education in Meriden. How does that happen?
Did he? That's right. He did say that.
Like Tim from Wallingford. He's on the Energy Commission in Hamden. So can I run for governor but still live in Florida and I can phone it in?
Apparently, that's
What's
right.
the difference from phoning it in Lakeland, Florida, to Greenwich, Connecticut? What's the difference?
I get you.
Governor Pritzker's been calling it in for 8 years in Illinois.
Yeah, no kidding. What do you got?
I want to kill two birds with one stone on that topic.
Okay.
Instead of sending military aid, and I guarantee you it's food. You remember my Natick lab guy from Plum Island that created McNuggets? Let's take the MREs away from the Ukrainian military and give it to our hungry kids. Let's see what these liberals think if these kids are getting MREs, which is a day's worth of calories. They're like 1,800 calories. One meal takes care of you.
I don't see why. You know what? Again, I am so sick and tired of them not.
Quality.
We should.
They complain about quality, but you could feed our troops this crap because you know those big tinfoil tins that you cook a turkey in?
Yeah.
They used to show up on a truck, add boiling water to this powder, stir it up, and feed us scrambled eggs and like fake bacon that they was high. So let's feed the kids this stuff and see what these libtards do. So if they can't feed the kids what they're feeding the military, we got a bigger problem than just the kids.
Agreed.
But my inner Shackman, I'm sitting at Fish City Grill, which is a Texas company, and my Florida location was their 7th location. Now they have like 35. It's Cajun seafood, and it's New England seafood. And I went in today because the bartenders are from Smithfield, Rhode Island. Pretty girl, 42 years old. The other one's from Madison, Connecticut. She's the one that got me in there originally. And they have Nantucket oysters, and they have New England clam chowder, all that. And is Roland around? Because in honor of Roland, and my New England bartenders, I got a smash burger after my oysters with a cup of red beans and rice, Louisiana style.
He will totally appreciate that. He was just talking about red beans and rice, literally.
So, I got right next to me a couple from Toronto. On the other side of him, you ever run into a good old boy in the South, a guy like in his late 70s that would have called you boy when you were 25?
Yes.
He's sitting next to the Canadians. I'm on the other side. And we're talking about how we beat them in the Olympics and hockey, men's, women's, Paralympics, World Baseball Classic, blah, blah, blah. You did. And some of it was luck and some of it was expected. But your president, he went the wrong way. Your president is killing us. We can only afford to spend 2 months here this year. We normally spend 4.
Oh,
I'm like, he's like, you need to bring Obama back. I go, well, excuse me. Let me just tell you this. And you could call my friends up in Connecticut who will tell you that I'm not the biggest. I voted for him twice. I didn't vote for him the third time.
Yeah.
I agree with him 60% of the time. I'm definitely not MAGA. I'm too far to the right to be totally in on MAGA. I go, let me tell you, you need to be tariffed on those oysters and fish and chips you're eating. But I said, I'm going to take it a different way. And maybe you could agree with me. We're similar ages. I'm 2 years older than you.
Okay.
And we grew up with the same, MTV came out.
Sure.
You don't play my theme song anymore, but the last really good time we had for government working for us was probably Clinton because he got bipartisan stuff passed.
That was in '96. I will not. I can't disagree with you.
2000.
I couldn't agree with you.
He worked with Newt Gingrich. Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden have not been bipartisan, and it's not Trump's fault because he's the most bipartisan out of them all. but we really haven't had a successful president or a good Congress since the 90s.
Agreed.
And I go, you cannot blame this all on Trump. As much as I would like to, because he wastes time talking about taking Alberta and Greenland and the Gulf and all this stuff.
Dude,
he goes, he's getting your boys killed in wars. I go, no, he's not. There's no boots on the ground.
I wish he would. Some of these people are just, you know what? I'll put it this way. If these guys are trying to have geopolitical conversations by watching CNN, they're not even worth the time.
I won the conversation, and he started listening to me and stopped rebuttaling.
Yeah.
I go, I'm not MAGA. I'm a conservative. I don't like what he does on this, and that. But on the other stuff, it's going to help everybody.
Yeah.
But nobody could overlook his big mouth talking about Greenland,
Yes,
Canada.
no. I totally listen. I get the whole people can't overlook the big mouth stuff. Here's the thing. Yes, they can. They choose not to because they love the rhetoric.
Get him to do this, and he was like, well, he's going to take Cuba and let Rubio run it. I go,
shut up.
I go, Rubio's probably going to be the next candidate for president. But he started listening to me, and I'm like, it dawned on me.
Yes.
The only way you unify Connecticut voters is if you quit shoving MAGA down their throats.
You're wrong.
Wait, listen to me. You take the good points of MAGA, the good points of conservatism, show how it helps everybody.
You were talking to a Canadian, weren't you?
Right. But now listen to me.
Real quick, come on, I got to wrap this up.
Was a good old boy, and he was a Trump supporter. He goes, he's right. Because everyone's not going to agree 100% on MAGA, but there's you could take 10 good points of what would help this country and not shove it down people's throats and insult them because they're not MAGA.
It isn't about that. And again, I know there's some people who do that, but it's not.
Elections are decided by issues.
That's right. And that's my whole point.
Run on the key issues that help everybody.
Rudy, listen to me, when you put the premise in other people's hands, they will tell you exactly how you're supposed to approach them. That's never, ever going to be the case for winning. So in essence, you're capitulating. That's not winning a debate or influencing anyone. You're capitulating. That means you are catering to them. I understand that people, you have to address people where they're at, but if you're capitulating, you're capitulating. You're actually not driving an argument. That's the way that I look at it. But we can talk about that another time. Let me get to some other calls. God bless you, brother. Let me get to Craig in the car real quick. Hey, Craig, what's up, boss?
Well, if you don't make me follow White Mike, you make me follow Rudy. Come on.
What do you got?
Reese, do me a favor, hook me up with Rudy because we both went to the same high school. I think we were 1 year or 2 years apart from one another in Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We both went to St. Andrews in Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
And I think he was one class ahead of me, maybe two.
Okay.
But I'd like to talk to him. All right, so here's the deal. Here's what Trump is. And I called about the food thing with the kids, but Rudy screwed that all up. This is what Trump is. If you've been a boss or an employer or a business owner, you always have these employees that just bring utter chaos.
Yep.
And they're eccentric, and they do things that are outside the box, and they piss half the people off in the company. But the numbers show results. At the end of the day, the numbers matter. And for me, that's what Trump is. Yeah, he's going to bring chaos and earthquakes like we've talked about before.
Always.
But at the end of the day, the company's going to be the country's going to be safer. We're going to have more money in our pockets, but it's going to be a wild ride, and I'm willing to take the ride.
So am I. I'm not.
Biden ride.
I refuse to have the argument, Craig. Let me put it to you this way. Here's the argument I'm refusing to have, as Rudy is trying to display. What he's trying to say is I'm going to confuse the person I'm communicating with by telling them, don't pay attention to the elephant in the room, Donald Trump. Just pay attention to what is going on. And if you can do that, then you can see why this stuff is good. Failing to realize that once you're out of the room, they are fixated on the thing that they're already fixated on. Ask any one of these guys. The only thing they care about is Trump. They believe that conservatism or MAGA sort of voters, if you will all of a sudden no longer be MAGA people once Donald Trump is gone. In essence, it's sort of like it's the, I hate to put it in such stupid terms, but I have to just for the sake of this debate. Independence Day, at the end, they realized in order to stop all the ships around the globe, they had to destroy the mothership. Donald Trump is the mothership. So if you destroy him, the rest of the MAGA folks will all of a sudden start Twitch, and then they will stop operating. So their operating mechanism is essence at the behest of Donald Trump, and that's the way they think that this works. And it is the stupidest way to actually address people.
Well, half of the country, and we have to remember this, half of the country approaches life as a Real Housewives episode in the Kardashians.
That is 100% true.
And they put Trump in that category because of his history. He's a showman. He's an entertainer first.
Right.
And they cannot separate the two. They look at this as show business.
How can you?
And it's not.
But that's like saying, that's like you saying that your wife's behavior is incumbent upon you, right? What she does is always a reflection of what you do and say. Like, she can't be the person that she is because you're the one that's creating the person she is. Now, we wouldn't do that for anybody. We wouldn't do that at our job. We wouldn't say the reason why I'm a bad employee is because my boss is a jerk, right? We wouldn't do that. We would say the reason I'm a bad employee is probably because to do with me. But this, and for some odd reason, people abandon reason and just go, oh, the reason why I don't like MAGA is because of Trump. I'm like, can you control your own thoughts? Can you control your own behavior? And these people obviously realize, no, I can't. The reason why I am what I am, I saw a guy online who said the reason why hip-hop and music sucks and the award sucks and television sucks is because Trump is the most entertaining person in the world. I'm like, so you can't be talented now? Well, Trump is the most. Yeah, I would agree with that statement. At least half of it. But I gotta tell you this, Reese. I'll leave you with this. Yeah. I met my wife 25 years ago, and she was a straight up liberal. And at 8 o'clock every night, we go to two different parts of the house. She goes to watch her Real Housewives, and I go to watch Fox News. But if there's a Trump speech or a Trump rally, she'll come and watch it with me. Yeah. Because she's I wouldn't say 100% believer, but she's 90%. Yeah. You're never going to get me to watch Real Housewives. That ain't happening. And so God bless you for it. That is a little victory in the Craig in the Car household. Thank you, boss. Talk to you soon. I gotta get up out of here. I think, did Stevie V say he had something for me? How do I have, I guess Stevie V, you'll say it. Let me go to him real quick. Stevie, you said you got a promo for me?
Yeah. Okay, here it goes. We got to pop in with Hip Hop Hopkins. Give you the conservative rap and taking no WK crap. There's no stopping Hopkins. Got a little something for White Mike, too. Keep White Mike in your heart and in your mind and pray for that boy. He's a good man, though.
Thank you.
He's a good guy.
Thank you. Yeah, he is a great guy. Thank you, boss. Man. Is this Sam the Man in Waterbury? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm all right. What do you got for me?
Growing up, there's a lot of cold meals I had for breakfast that were not the previous night's dinner.
Exactly. There you go.
My dad used to make stuff, SOS. He was in the Army when he was 16, so he would make SOS at home. He would make succotash from scratch.
Wow.
And I would go round and round with my dad about that. I'm not going to eat this. I would pick the lima beans out. And finally, one day he was riding me about it. Why do you keep doing this? I said, Dad, lima beans are what put the suck in succotash.
Thank you so much, Sammy. I appreciate you, buddy. I had to eat succotash, too, when I was a kid, sometimes with liver. Thank you, buddy. Time for me to get up out of here. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You, thank you for participating today. You were fantastic. All of the phone calls were great. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Make sure you're here, and I'll give you another update on the sick lady. back at my house. It's probably going to give me a cold. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, sir.
Hey, good night, Reese, and be nice to your wife. Take good care of her. If you're westbound 84, you got a little sluggish traffic from 48 out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. If you're traveling 91 north, it's northbound, you're doing